one that kind of started it all. Their run, 14th place, 1 elimination. Since then, every single game they had was inside of the top 8, including one of the wins that they did break down to start the show. But as we tune in, Muzz is down. Sphinx with 1 elimination. It looks like Cooper is over there. Not sure if Curly is the one getting rebooted, but it is. It's Reet making sure they get that one off, but his time is limited. They build straight up. They're making sure they collect that elimination, but a third team, the third party from Clicks, Iamzo, and Higgs, they get a good amount of damage onto Shadow, knowing they're only a duo, but a mistake has been made. Higgs goes down. That's a huge wrench in their plan.
Not gonna lie, love the Superman laser here. That's perfect to go ahead and pull that pressure off of Higgs, who was almost fully eliminated there. But how quickly did that just all unfold here? We have seen this fight almost break out multiple times now, where it's not one team, it's another lurking on the kind of opposing trio, just looking for opportunities.
I think yesterday was kind of very, very telling. We saw good portions throughout the game where there was a wide open space from the bottom of Flooded Frogs almost all the way to Lone Wolf Flare, an equal distance to the east and west. So teams at the north side of the map, Muzz's team, Reed's team, Clicks' team, they're not having the same type of luck they had going into this event. So they had to change up their strategy a little bit, and you're seeing it play out with a little bit more aggression in certain areas. Trying to attack where they can, but all 3 of those teams are near the top of the leaderboard, most of them inside of the top 10, and have a contention for the top spot on the leaderboard. Granted, some might be praying for the Peterbot downfall because he is so far ahead, but sometimes you might have to take matters into your own hands.
Yeah, he's gonna need those eliminations, right? They got a lot of runway to make up for here in this last game. Or last day of competition, I should be saying, but look at this. Rapid trailing behind King's Trio. That's some dangerous work there, especially looking at how well Phaser in particular played as an individual, not only clutching up for his team, but he was up there amongst the overall best individual performers and what he was able to contribute to his team.
496 damage. Most of this, honestly, coming off the back of Braids. We were talking about the damage numbers over towards Foxy is the #1 damage leader after day #1, putting them in a good position. And they don't have the same pressure versus some of these teams because they already have their global championship spot locked in. Close call here. Rise, G-Money, and Aviv, though. One team rotating right above them, another team right towards their east, but they're using this time still trying to accumulate the surge. Even though they're 1,200 damage above the threshold, they know how easily...
Cold is dead.
Jacob, look at this. 285 below, no cold, so this could be a fight for really the whole entire tournament right here. This could be the difference maker. Peterbot and Ritual looking to cut off the weakened team, trying to get them in the middle. This is just textbook positioning here, but time to perform. If they don't hit the tags here, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, and it's even slowly getting worse in its own right because that third-party team up above is slowly but surely trying to look over in this direction. A lot of places to hide going into Brutal Boxcars, so they do have a chance to try to sneak up on a Golden, Mason, and Chimp here as well. You see them trying to go back into the space that they got early on and just almost try to looking like they're disengaged out of this fight. They probably got notice of the zone pulling far away towards the east. And they probably got a feel of what's going on right now, and it does look like Surge has activated every 7 seconds. Now Ritual and Peterbot have officially been put on the clock.
And you know they're hearing that shield break from the Storm Surge, so that's going to be the telltale sign for the bottom trio. And the bottom trio has to know it's Ritual and Peterbot pushing them as they're in. You mentioned
this is insane.
But their signature skin. This is usually how they start the tournament off, so you know for certain this is Peterbot and Ritual here. But very rarely are they below the surge, so there must be just so many questions being asked and thrown about with these trios.
Yeah, and luckily for this moment, it does deactivate. It got below the number of teams for that zone, but you can see
500 below.
They're further below that damage threshold than I feel like they have ever been in an FNCS finals, or at least in recent memory. They're really going to have to figure it out, but they do have time. You see, as we tune into Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts, where the zone is actually going, it's not too far away from Brutal Boxcars. So in that 1 tick damage zone,
Yo, what up, Darley?
at least one more.
If you just
Like the positioning here.
do exclamation point Discord, you can join my Discord.
Kind of chill out for a second. Yamzado playing deep in the storm right now. No Clicks and Higgs. Things just devolving for this team here. Not looking good by any means, but Hey, Yamzo's still got a chance to go ahead and recover and remain in the game. It's a nice little rotate here from Laporta. It's going to give him some distance, but there's just so much happening in this northern area.
Like, if anybody can do it as a solo and get his team back up, it is Yamzo. 37 solo clutch points yesterday, keeping them, I believe, over that 200-point mark. It's just got exponentially harder with the time that passes. He still has to worry about Storm Surge. He has the surf cube, and he's literally just surfing up and over. It could be a good opportunity with now two teams distracted for him to try to make that attempt to go for the reboot card back. Booga Craze threats always quick to rotate to the zone, and honestly, the only time I feel like they're not quick is when they're rotating to the slow side, trying to give themselves that better advantage.
Oh, look at the update there. Mud Shadow Sphinx officially eliminated our 6th place team, allowing the rest of the top 5 to somewhat maintain the lead at this current time here. Ritual Peterbot make it out this storm. They seem to have gotten an elimination right here. They are right on the team of Mason. They were fighting in the storm. They make it to the next area. Take a look at the highlight here as they come on in. Oh, is that off the chin? Straight into the box. Wrap it up so quick here.
Oh, Storm Surge is ag, let's say it is, but even with that elimination, there were still 377 below, 453. They essentially 2+ eliminations worth of damage here. They have 2 players right in front, but I'm sure that's not going to be enough overall. They continue to trade shots down onto one. They do get the wipe, but exactly as I said, they're barely above that damage threshold, 51. So they can feel confident now. They can feel the pressure alleviate, but they know that's going to switch up if they don't continue that upward trend of damage.
And then King team know, Oliver's team know, Reek knows. They know exactly who is in the middle there. The feed lighting up. They can hear the shots. That's going to be very interesting. Oyo, Agers, Acorn make an early rotate here, giving up their positioning to go ahead and play a little bit more center. Possibly targeted. Maybe someone broke.
Flexing them eliminated. Oh my. That's huge.
On the previous spot now. Look at that. Off they go. Straight early rotate to the new zone. Utilizing those dashes almost perfectly. Peterbot Ritual back into the mix. They don't have the luxury, the time really to kind of wait around. They have to fight here and now.
And on the flip side, though, with Cold being down as early as he has, a monster, there's no team in this lobby that's going to get this type of situation ever again with them going down. I don't even know when he kind of disappeared out of it overall, but they're a duo. They got to take them out. They got to cut down that 53-point lead. And I don't think anybody has been in a position to start to feel confident. They've been through 2 different teams so far, Chimp, Golden, and Mason. Now this team full trios in a 2v3 situation, fighting with Surge on their backside, 110 down to 81. They're starting to fall below the damage threshold, and a max pull for this next zone. If they figure out a way out of this, I'm not sure anything's going to be able to stop them in this game.
Yeah, well, clearly they're going to be able to make the rotate, but the damage is obviously going to be extremely concerning. But look at this, Peterbot making the call like, wait, if we go through this tunnel, we lose all the time on the clock, right, to fight, but we could go up and trail that other team instead. They are going to stay down low. And
Fucking goon, you need 13 though.
Other side of this mountain.
No, it keeps going up.
Got to either back up Peterbot here or something, but Peterbot clutching in when it matters most, finding a little bit of damage is still not enough. It's actually Reese Trio who's on the other side here. The damage being dealt, everyone's kind of feeling it here on the lobby. Peterbot Ritual go up and out the town. Look at this.
258. Oh, and all or nothing.
It's over, bro.
Gonna get taken down.
Cold fucking sold this game.
269, falling further and further. 306. It gets worse, and now his last usage of that misform going to be used. He dives straight towards a whole nother team being exposed down below. His only chance, he gets sprayed on the other side. Active Surge as well.
It's a kill, but it's just not enough. Nice.
He's insane. Even though he's holding on here.
Yep, he's good. So he hits for 25. And he made it through the surge.
Through and through to the very end. It's Curly's Cheerios below him now. Just trying to think back. Did he miss any loot? but it's too risky to go for it. Now going for the scout here, the download of the information. King's Trio makes a move here. Might be time to rotate, but he needs some type of mobility. It's only going to get tougher and tougher from here. Top 15 placement points as well.
Show first place.
Very critical opportunities for Pewter Boss team to stay in the lead. Cooper, Ree, and Curly, though, on the move now. But there's still a chance, right, for the rest of the lobby to break away.
And this is their chance right now. You see, they're taking it.
Peterbot does the pistol rotate. Acorn takes height.
Agers and Pollo, a battle for the high ground is going to begin, but Agers with the
Agers shits on visuals.
Gets the knock as Acorn shows up to help save the day. 931 damage above threshold before it does deactivate. Did everything they needed to do because the remaining players of that trio just gave it up. They have no hope because they're outnumbered.
Acorn was just on his old man time, you know, looking down, connecting his base, you know, playing block building up top, and then Agent's like, bro, what's going on?
Not on the low ground.
2 or 3 people on you.
Let's
and
go.
Saves the day. My gosh, that's gonna be quite an opportunity for them to look back on and kind of reevaluate.
I did see it in the feed. That
Threads, Booga, and Craze also on the low ground.
Place. So we talk about placement points coming in, that being the tool as a solo for him to try to keep that lead intact, but only getting 15th place. That's only 2 placements worth of points. So there is a lot of time and effort right now for any one of those teams below him on that leaderboard to start to close the gap, or even better, take the lead after this game. 4 eliminations so far for Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. They're definitely in the position on the high ground as it continues to move up the mountain. Everybody down below is have to expend every resource and material just to reach the tip of that mountain.
Keep in mind, Rapid Kanata Bolts were in 2nd place, so Peterbot falling super early. This is their chance to now officially close the gap. But what happens when they end up taking first, if they can take first, is they are gonna put a target on their back, and that's where things are gonna have to get even more difficult for them. Rapid taking a lot of damage here. He's gonna be the first.
Agers gets Rapid.
Dropped down into the box too fast, and then caught up.
Kanata dead.
And we might have spoken.
Bulls playing Chug.
Bolts only in 13th right now. He hasn't really earned much. Talk about not necessarily taking advantage of the opportunity presented here and now. It's Agers, Acorn, and Pollo who are doing the most with this chance here.
They're immediately, we saw them below, over 100 down below the damage threshold, and now they're putting themselves closer and closer to the driver's seat, just terrorizing any team trying to make it up that mountain, because it not only goes up, but it goes over towards the other side. Got to make sure you plan ahead, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They go ahead and let Cooper lead the charge. They drop down a few labors to make sure they're not that instant target by the high ground. Bolts by himself, though. Kelly talked about the resurgence, the new Bolts, almost like the NA West championship winning Bolts back at it, and this is a perfect time to prove himself. At least 4 teams worth of placement points, now 5 as he gets into the top 8.
Took a couple seasons off, but clearly couldn't count him out. He has been back in prime form here. I like the little play here to dip back into the storm as the zone bounces back, trusting that things are going his favor.
So 18s. I don't even know if they showed how Peterbot died. Did I miss that?
This is a
Did I forget?
coming out of him right now from 13th when his team fell down, now into 7th, and he's still pushing through. Can he find an impact elimination? Looking at things from the background, though, high ground is sitting super pretty. Cooper, Reed, and Curly trying to take advantage here of the opportunity to just rack up eliminations. That's the name of the game right now. Meanwhile, Cam is getting active in the low ground.
Yeah, you can see Donnie. There's not too many full trios left in this game, but Seek's wandering around. He has 180 on the Chug, Minis as well. He just needs to find a way to let the dust settle and get those heals off, but there's players above them. There's players down below. One of them being a full trio right here before our very eyes. They're looking for that opportunity to continue to be contested as they're dominating the low ground. You see them creating more spaces. Agers and Pollo have dropped down low. Now they're playing Disruptor. They're making sure nobody has a chance to heal off.
Agers caught Bolts right there and shut him down. Sent them back to the lobby. Top 5 now for Ree, Curly, Cooper. Back into the mountain this endgame goes. This is quite a zone ending here if we've ever seen one. Meanwhile, Mistform plays, or Med Mist plays way deep into the storm. Donnie with the jumping shot there onto Cooper's going to go and find himself elimination. Cam swinging around the outside. He's just a huge upset kind of being thrown into the mix here. Low ground now, trying to kind of gather his bearings. Downloads what he needs to. Puts down Reed. That's the cycle
Dunked on
of the
Reed.
game, and he's just fighting for second here.
The Agers? Yeah, Agers dunks on him though.
Alive, but
Agers dunks on him with a minute left. Well, I don't know.
11 for
I like that. Yeah, 33 seconds left.
He's just fighting for second here, and there it is, Curly, the last alive, but Agers is on the hunt as he closes things out with a 14 elimination victory royale.
11 for
I like
These
that.
games were complete.
Oh my gosh. Pollo, Acorn, and Agers in first place. Kanata in third place. Oh my god. You're shitting me. You are fucking shitting me. Oh, we got a match on our hands. Oh my fuck.
Completely different today in the sense that, like, yesterday when we were in first, second zone, it was like, whoa, there's already 75 people alive. This in the, I mean,
But that means
It's Peterbot.
Let's hear what they have to
But
say.
after I don't know, a little something like a game 7 victory
Oh
to start the
my
day,
God.
we're 10 points ahead of Peterbot. It's happening. Kelly, it's happening.
yeah, at the start of the show when I said that history was repeating itself, I was talking about Major 2 to Major 3, not day 1 to day
10
2. So that
points.
means that Agers, Acorn, and Pollo are going to get the next victory royale as well, possibly. But honestly, I got to give the floor to Vivid, because Vivid, you called it at the start of
Oh,
the
we
show.
got a
Agers,
fucking
Acorn,
tournament.
Pollo needed that mental reset, and that's what we got.
worked out perfect.
Peter's gotta land Demon's Domain.
Eliminations, beautiful stuff there, but it's gonna be on the back foot, right? Them kind of losing the lead in Peterbot there. Storm Surge was rough that game, right?
my
They're kind of
God.
used to going, you know, head to head, shotgun, box to box, wall to wall.
What?
Like, these games were completely different today in the sense that, like, yesterday when we were in first, second zone, it was like, whoa, there's already 75 people alive. This is getting quite.
Whoa.
Eliminations are going down, and then today in game number 1 of the day, there was
Whoa.
like 90 players alive at that same exact moment. So a lot more passive playstyle. But I mean, jumping right into the end game, Kelly. Bolt's kind of holding on for the trio with that solo clutch. Incredible stuff from him.
I just want there to be some kind of highlight reel showing the bolts that we had for Major 1 and then the bolts that we have for Major 3, because I would never guess that this is the same player. He is playing absolutely lights out today and all of yesterday as well. When
Lights
it comes
out.
down to solo clutches, there's honestly rarely anyone better than what we've seen bolts be able
Top
to do.
7.
Not able to get the game that they wanted exactly, but honestly, even if you're in a shambles situation, being able to put yourself up even just a little bit is exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, they're fighting.
That's what Kanata needed, though. He needed a bad game 1 because he has 5 more games to come back. I feel like Kanata sometimes needs that kick in the ass, you know, and then he realizes, like, oh shit, I gotta lock in, you know, because we can't have Bolt solo clutching if you want to win or get second place. We need everyone locked in. We need the upper echelons to go at each other, like Peterbot and Pollo to go at each other. And you could actually Kanata win this. You know, Bolts can't be doing everything.
For those few spots, right? And again, all the
Like, you went from, I think they were in first place at one point, second place, and now third place. You can't be moving down. You need to be holding that spot.
these trios are doing the same thing, right? They're
That's
just
the
saying,
team I want.
"Here's trios are improving upon, right, in day number 2. And for this trio, I'm liking what I'm seeing.
It's better.
spot by 12.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at Acorn. 3 victory royales, and then second place Peterbot's trio. No wins at all. The best they've gotten is a second and a lot of thirds. So just really showing the different caliber, the different play styles, and different journeys they're going through to make their statement here.
Is Peterbot gonna land on Acorn? Peterbot versus Pollo, game 8.
One more time.
Has to
get
be.
on the bus here and see if whether or not Acorn and team will be faced with resistance. It almost feels like a coin flip every single game. We just don't know what we're going to get. Clearly, we know there is that target on their back. they seem to be the most
Nah,
consistent
looks like just
trio
one
on the
team
NA
is
region
going.
and probably even the globe.
Yeah, my eyes are literally glued to that drop map right out of the gates. I'm trying to see
Same.
who's contested, who's going where, what
Aviv
type of spin
uncontested
on that wheel
again.
are we going to see where a surprise contest will happen. But business as usual, G-Money, Aviv, Rise, they get it one more time to themselves. Potential Spire spawning near them as well, so they're going to get themselves a chance at a good game. They also have the research lab at their access, the RIP to go ahead and rotate around, but this is the 50-50 I have my eyes on from top to bottom. You just go ahead and dive your way down, but Cybers is going to get the first down on Deoxy, and his two teammates have no choice but to just leave and hope for the best.
Yeah, this is the first time they actually fall this early.
You're doing a 50-50 in grand
They kind of
finals.
didn't even get to put up a fight. But this is the way it goes down.
Spot is
at times.
boo-boo.
They've made, yeah, I was going to say, a little clean break, though.
Boo-boo ass
To the
spot.
outskirts they go. Look to go ahead and get their loot together, possibly re-engage.
They're splitting that too. Yeah, these.
No break for Bryce Dash and Skittles.
What are we doing?
Unfortunately getting slept here.
This can't be a good spot. Can't be a good idea.
It's tough, right? And this is still their general area. It's not like they don't understand how to play these zones or win these drops. I mean, the resistance base, they're so familiar with this entire landscape here.
Yeah, and if I was Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, I would start to get a little worried because as Skittles and his entire trio don't necessarily get the consistency they had from day one, it's more likely than not they might start to make their way closer and closer back to the resistance space. We saw them win contested fights at least once. We saw them split the drop, stay alive, and be able to make it towards their end game. So that's the type of mental struggle some of these players
Acorn.
might be going through when it comes to these drops.
Only an AR.
Some of these games, we're seeing the limits they're stretching right now. Acorn, not
This
even
game is already dying out. People are realizing if I want to make globals, I got to do something now.
Players landed back here. They saw it off that drop spot. So they're trying to figure out exactly where they're at. Acorn, the IGL, the team is going to
Oh my.
spot him out.
Acorn's about to get a
That's
kill.
nice tag right there. 41, no shield on the opponent's that low.
Oh my.
But you blink, you might get put down. Boyo quickly rotates into the rescue here to back him up. Here comes the shots from up top. Nice little knock. This
Yeah,
could be
that's-
a great elimination here.
that's
And I
a
just
quick
think these
day.
as just, you know, buffer, right? A little extra room, little padding on the scoreboard, given that they just have such a narrow lead over everyone else.
Acorn got a
Now,
bird. I love that for him.
That was good for
Yo, what up, Loop Lab?
Quickly there just to make sure that he didn't run away because his teammate was there. They might not necessarily.
What'd he do?
But we see he did have some backup on the way.
I need to turn a light on.
This is one of those fights, Monster. When I look at it, you almost have to finish it quick. That team that we saw start the game on top of the mountain, Shogun, Solitude, and everybody that lands around Crime City, Outlaws, Oasis, and the split drops towards the outside tend to rotate in this direction. And because Pioneer's Crossing has a little bit of a divot with mountain ranges on both sides, it's easy for players to lurk on over, figure out what's going on, assess the situation, and decide if they want to play for it or not.
Yeah, definitely. You see teams get farmed for tags all about this area when they're rotating. Peterbot already making a move up. This is very
Peterbot
reminiscent of the last majors. That
pushing
first they rotate up towards
the
boat. They know
Brazil
how to figure this
team.
out. They know there's good opportunity to find a somewhat of an ambush set up here.
This can't be a good idea. Keep in mind, the Brazil team shit on them in realistic fights.
Looking scary. They've done this before. Remember last major? It was a whole different team landing over at the Lone Wolf Lair, but they have made almost this exact lurk play from the other side of Lone Wolf Lair.
Holding them had not been hit at all yesterday with
Really have
Storm
to
Surge.
watch out here.
And then, of
Know
course,
this
last
terrain
game they died to
just
Storm
as good as
Surge,
any, and you can
basically.
see the position on the mini-map of that trio they're inching towards. They're spread out. They're not close together. One of them can easily try to go down, so I want to see King with that high ground really utilize it.
Come
try to
on,
spawn out the
Pete.
team, but they're inside of the layer, so now I feel like there's no hope until it's too late.
And I doubt they're going to make any type of noise indication here while King is full farming here. Look at this, jumps down. This might be even worse for him. Sure, he's getting with his teammate, but a 3v2 is all Peterbot needs for the setup here. And there's another team behind them as well, so I mean, this could go either way.
trying to see where the zone actually is, because it kind of pulls towards the north. We're keeping the west side in the zone. The island could go there, which is what
Nice.
they wait for Phaser to use the launch pad and immediately beam to take him down. And you
Go,
see
Rich.
they're just trying to disengage. His two teammates aren't even necessarily together. That's exactly what they were looking for. The island on this side of the zone.
Yamzo clicks in them.
The lurkers are now becoming the lurked. Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs are making the same exact play.
This is just comedy unfolding.
Yeah, thank God they're
Working
leaving.
in tandem at this point. They don't realize their team's already kind of gone, but their mind's definitely moving in the right direction. How can you put yourself in a position to obviously catch these teams off guard? And if they somehow end up crash coursing even on Clifton's trio here just in a couple moments, that'll be devastating in its own. But nope, they catch PH in off guard, and it's just a matter of time. It's not looking good. You see how good the lasers are too, Jacob, especially in the early game like this when you have the opportunity to really put it to use.
They know. They know, though. They know exactly. They probably saw that first.
He gets the coin game too, okay. We take that.
Lone Wolf to try to get him. They ran into King Phaser PH teams yet again, and as soon as they heard that rift, they knew they already have high ground. They're already towards the island. It would be a bad play to go over there and try to contest that. So they're going to continue on with the rest of the game. Hopefully the zone pulls in their favor, and that could be a second moment for them to try to strike.
It almost looks like they want to stay at the Lone Wolf. We'll end up seeing how that works out for them.
Close.
A little update here with Puga, Craze and Threats. 32 points already earned on the day, so pretty strong start. But it's all about staying consistent for them. They want that global championship spot that we know is prestigious and up for grabs right now.
It's
One
only
thing's
have
for sure,
300
though, Canada
points.
wants it too. They are definitely leagues ahead right
It's
now.
not over
The
for 'em,
scoreboard
though.
here, about a game's worth
Not out.
in the distance, and then you have G Money's team. They're trailing right behind. So who all is going to take those last couple spots here is definitely one of the bigger questions.
Ooh. Not sure.
Come on, Skinny
Some great
Pete.
shots.
30 teams still.
Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs. They're
This
getting
game is a
play
stacker.
in the zone. So contrary from how we saw Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs play towards in that last game and a couple of the games yesterday, getting aggressive, trying to play for a storm surge, they're kind of switching it up. They realized, hey, we went down a little earlier than we hoped in that last game. It wasn't a part of our game plan. We didn't expect it. So now they're trying to slow things down, put a pause on everything, recollect themselves, and play exactly like we're watching Cold Ritual and Peterbot play here for Surge. Let it other teams make those mistakes that you can then capitalize on.
Yeah, Cole just throwing out markers right now, trying to see if he can fish for any trios.
Like, where is that?
Haven't caught a break yet.
Bolts in them.
Yeah, no real reason for some of these teams to move too much. They do get the zone priority pull. It is favoring, I think, them mostly for the center map. Haven't seen it overall. And the same thing with Blake's team on the other side, but it looks like they might be getting lurked on by Madden and his trio. So hopefully they don't lose too much focus and tunnel on Kanata's team around the map when they got something to worry about. It does look like Oliver got separated. And it seems like a whole fight is breaking down. And this is where Kanata and them are going to take full advantage to try to get as much surge out of this as possible.
Madden V gets the knock on Oliver.
Bolts gained 18 points as a solo in Game 7 and now has the most solo clutch points at 49 points. Ugh. That's what I'm saying though, Bolts can't be doing everything.
I like that coming out of
We need Kanata to step it up.
That last game, making them
We need Rapid to
solo clutch
get a
points
dub.
for the game, and you gotta think Rapid and Kanata gotta start be feeling a little bit more confident with each and every game that passes, saying, hey, we might have to do less. Bolts is doing the most. Especially when it comes to those solo opportunities, but we saw Oliver G go down in the feed across the map early on.
No, you just got
trying to
pre-pieced.
fight back. You see he's burning through his
Blake
bullets,
is-
changing layers, trying to stay alive, inadvertently
Yeah, not
separating a
playing
little
this
too
right.
much from Diego plays. He's trying to find his way back.
Diego looking to back him up though, trying to find an angle. It's still a 3v2 though. This is not easy by any means, but Blake flexing his capabilities right now, but still it's not going to be enough as Liam just a little too aggressive for his liking here. Gets the better of him. And then you know that Kanata Trio's just watching this, chipping away shots here at the builds and whatnot.
I feel bad for Diego Plays. He's in such a rough spot.
Madden
So
3v2.
much ammo in those Spire rifle clips. You can
Maybe
only spray for
3v1.
days. You chain him with your teammate. There's no chance for Diego to heal. Now they're playing for piece control on the walls. Liam bites off just a little bit more than he could chew. He gets taken down to 65 HP. You see Diego trying to take advantage, get aggressive. But the numbers game, there's just too much sometimes. 3v1. They're eventually able to take him down. And not only claim all the loot, but claim that position on top of the mountain.
Shotgun in hand, they were ready. And this zone too is starting to favor slightly to the north, so this is going to be even more favorable for them as far as like holding this mountain is concerned, especially if those elims right there pushing them up and over into like a comfortable area for overall damage. That's going to be big. Muzz, Sphinx, Shadow
Oh,
for their exchanges right now. Still
some good
staying
tags, but
resistance base, so
are we watching Muzz?
questionable, I would say, though, for them to be here
Muzz's
this
team.
long. I have to assume that their damage is probably not the best, so they'll likely need to get into a fight here soon.
Yeah, especially more so. They already pushed that one team off. Kind of imagining the feed, watching them kind of play it all out. King, Phaser, Pete, all three of them back up. Not necessarily the best shape, but at least they've given themselves a chance. And they know there's footsteps here. That's Sinetto, Cam, and Osid on the other side. A team that could be a little scary to fight. We saw them qualify through the group stages, consistency through and through until they
Wait, this is the Brazil team. They got the reboot off.
Sides of that coin, they know how to turn on.
And we got Osid.
And rightfully
Osid
so.
used to be a
Push
controller
out
player, I
the
think, and
Phaser
then he
PH's
switched to mouse and
team,
keyboard.
Probably forcing them to take that railing all the way to brutal.
Well, if it's practice you want, it's practice
Oh
you get
my
for King,
gosh.
Phaser, and PhD. And this is what they signed up for as they jumped into this NA region. They're in 13th right now, the team clashing with them in 14th, so somewhat meeting their match here and now. Like the move to the brutal, pick up this vending, and get them right back in the game right now.
They got this
And this
the
is one
med
of the
mist,
teams that might
but it's
actually
like
know this
the new med
process.
mist.
Peterbot's team took them down, rushed for the island, didn't worry about his brutal boxcar Spire. So now, fresh off the reboot, they know Peterbot is nowhere in sight towards brutal boxcars, giving them a chance. This
That was 200
is
IQ.
one of the best chances you're going to get off spawn, getting access to one of those Spires. They're instantly starting to upgrade that superhero rank. They're going to get a whole lot of loot, mobility, in which they didn't have. So I'm interested to
That's
see how far they're
actually
able to take this game with a huge
W's
second chance.
in the chat.
Money and V making that far rotation outside of Outpost across Foxy, trying to get into the zone. They're beating a few teams back there, and since they were kind of shooting back and forth with some of those teams, they could realistically position themselves.
Oh, I've just
on
discovered a
the
new
ground
move.
to continue to look
I gotta
for
write this down before I forget it.
Yeah, definitely got to play for key positioning here. You don't want to get caught between these valleys like Braids and Diminish, almost forced to go deeper into the storm. Little fight, including here, it seems like. Tyler, Curve, and Josh try to jump in, but whoa, what happened there? Must have been a crack in the build. Someone squeezed some shots in his Aaron's trio. Oh, yeah, it's a full team as they were going to finish up blue, but just, I guess, got a little too tunnel vision there. That's going to be Raz for them.
It's only one way into those labs underneath and multiple ways out. Sometimes it's not even worth the risk, and you see why. Teams waiting on the outside. There's sometimes some grids that you can't even necessarily build on there as well. It's a good spot to plan ahead and really try to get that sneak attack, which they did find success onto one. And you're seeing exactly why they're going for plays just like that, Monster. Only 68 damage above the threshold. Even though it's early on, we know that's going to change in the blink of an eye.
Back and forth right now. Seems like the Jig duo made it out of the lab itself. They have a chance to kind of fight this one off here. A couple bandages, though, to give them a little bit of room. Fred's team doing the same here, so be all or nothing here shortly.
Luckily for them, they got a lot of heals at least. See, even though you kind of diminish your chances at going to heal off, which you haven't really seen too many of throughout this weekend, you're just kind of cutting down a possible scenario if it ever does come down to it. We saw them go for this island early on, and what a right decision it was, because they're able to get at least one medallion in the hands of Peterbot, the one that's really going to take an individual skill level and kind of increase it tenfold. You see the invisibility.
Oh,
and
that
you
was
fall damage, you move quicker, jump
game
higher,
changing.
faster, and something like his hands.
Just came up with a new move.
Kind of looking for him to really make those clutch plays here again. And from on top,
And I learned it from watching the Brazil team.
rotate in through the east, through the south. They're gonna get a bird's eye.
It's not what they did, but it's how they did it. Oh my gosh.
Replay from King. The fight goes down, and Cam's trio meets them here at the brutal boxcars, and it just full-on collide with one another there. That's going to be huge for them. I think that should surely push them up into A, possibly even S rank if they caught that Spire. Just think about the benefits of that. That HP increase, of course, going to be super beneficial. Given that the zone might actually become a 2-tick. Hold up. They need to start moving ASAP.
What do we have here? 220 above the damage threshold. A little proactivity in this game. We saw them lurking around, not necessarily staying towards the north side. Supernova Academy taking those early game fights like we saw in a couple games throughout the tournament so far. Trying to change things up yet again. In some ways, trying to hit that reset button, and so far working out. We're able to take that slow roll and approach to get that knock on the seat, but you see them trying to fight their way through. Joji's playing defensive, trying to save the body. Donnie is as well, and he lands a good shot onto Clicks to try to slow things down, and more teams are now rotating into the zone in this direction to make it tougher and tougher for anybody to try to clean up the eliminations.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not sure if Clicks' team recognized that there is 2 teams shooting in from the outskirts here. They were moving as if it was just a clean 3v3, but there's so much more happening here than just that. And oh, wow. That pressure from the laser, of course, forcing them off here. And now that could have gotten really bad for Clicks, but hey, things settle for a second here. They got to go. Zone's doing 2 ticks of damage.
500 above.
It's definitely not the spot that you want to be in right now.
And depending on what the heals are, you don't want to dig into that chug jug too early. Max pull coming out. You want to try to save as much of those heals, the HP as possible. But it does look like it has to come out. It looks like it's only heal they do have in their inventory. Maybe
Acorn has won so many fucking games. He won 3 games already.
Seen really play out since the return of those Medmus smokes.
That's
on the
insane.
other side of the map, going through a very, very similar and tough rotation. Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. They completed the hat trick in terms of victory royales during this FNCS, but it's about proving the point. It's about winning another championship.
Yeah, this team is
That
disgusting.
immediate competition right there with VG Money and Rise rotating past.
Agers, Acorn, and Poyo have the highest damage ratio of any team.
Hold early. Oh, big damage coming in from Poyo there. Saw the quick medallion swap though to get that HP
That's huge.
fly right back up. And that's the strength of the medallion. G Money should know better to leave open walls like that, but they take a little damage there before rotating out. Oh, they didn't like that. They're turning right onto Poyo. Agers opening things up, giving them some.
Oh my shit on.
A little side angle onto Rise.
Nice.
And behind Aviv, an Ager game sense.
Oh my,
coming in
wait, but they're dead.
full effect here, but he knows he can't stay inside the storm. It's just doing too much damage.
You need to win this fight.
The dashes to get around, support his
You need to
teammates.
1v2.
Down now, and this
Come
is
on.
just going south very fast here.
For both teams, for
Come
that
on,
matter,
Agers.
was able to not only get the elimination clean up on the Rise,
Yep.
he gets
1v1 now.
onto Aviv as well.
He wins this.
1v1. No matter who comes out alive in this situation,
Oh my
both
gosh.
of them
He
kinda
won it.
second-guessing probably this decision.
Agers
He was
1v3,
going to
disgusting.
get on out, or at least try to make the attempt, but he was
No,
so
no.
low on HP.
So
he gets
good.
cleaned up. It turned into a 5-tick. So for Agers, he does have all these heals, but he is on the clock to try to get out to see what he has left.
Yeah, it's crazy because he hit.
Yeah, I
S
mean,
right
it's-
as it happened, and then G
it's
Money
cooked.
falls to the storm naturally. So
But that
it
was clean.
perfect. He gets the siphon to kind of stay in the game here, and this is why he's waiting this one out a bit. But you know, the lobby had to have heard something.
I think
happening
kills are about
inside the
4
storm.
points in grand finals. So those
That's
are
gonna
big
be a
points.
Potential lead given back to the rest of the lobby to play for. Cooper Curly Reet. Much to be desired here in this game, but they have the zone right now. They have a little bit of damage, but not too much. They can sit idle here.
Literally what we were talking about. One mistake in games like this and stack lobbies that are this close could cost you anything. It was only 10 points of differential between first and second going into this game. Even third was less than 50 points overall, more than enough to change the tide because it's outside of the placement points so far. Last we saw was about 19 teams still left alive. Still 19 teams in the game, but one does go down. Craze was the one that did get cleaned up. It's only guessing.
No,
That might
Pete.
be Booga, Craze, and Threats out of the lobby.
Finally, we got a Peterbot win.
Play for a little bit of that elevated high ground here. I like this positioning. I think they are recognizing too they need a win. Whoa, little delivery.
Sup, Angelo? Thank you for the follow, dude. I appreciate you.
Scope wants his team, though.
Or Angel.
Wasn't even
Sup,
damaged
Angel?
that loop there. There was a bit too much going on beneath them.
Maybe it is Angelo. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Watching this tourney.
Straight Elam, Booga, Craze, and Threats officially out. Around 19th place. So
How are you?
placement points for them.
Scale of 1 to 10. How was your day?
Feeling the pressure from across. A bunch of players
Clicks.
spraying
Oh my gosh. Has to get that return damage.
there,
Nice.
but Clicks does a good job. Not only getting the shield down, but leaving him with just a sliver of HP. But it's more than one. It's
Oh.
more than two. It's almost 3 to 4.
No
Five
builds.
Teams shooting in this direction. Yamzo's going to go down. You see the material count relatively low. No hard mats. They're building in wood. That's a huge sign of weakness. The spray is relentless, and I don't think it's going to stop.
Yeah, if you're in wood, you're just gonna get
They're kind of
focused.
initiating this. They're almost signaling to the
Ritual
lobby,
got the
"Get in
kill,
here,
nice.
add that damage," and they just get focused right back to the start of the game. PH Zin also had a little bit of an influence on that one. And that's just tough, right?
Nice to meet you.
Oh my gosh.
Pager's dead.
Yep. This
Huge.
entire pocket right here, bad news. Bad business.
This has to be a
I feel so
cold
bad 'cause
win.
I've been in that situation. I'm not even a tenth of the way as skilled as these players, but I've been in that situation before, and it sometimes feels like there's no hope of making it out, and already two different teams got claimed because of that entire situation. So a 10-point lead is almost guaranteed to be diminished yet again. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. But let's go ahead and say Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid as well have a chance to move up the leaderboard as well. From third to possibly getting second or first.
Oh, most definitely. They were one of those teams in the focus fire. Peterbot getting a little sample of what that feels like. And he knows what to do. Change layers.
Yes,
He's
yep.
certainly there.
Stream daily.
Give it up, and it's Kanata who
Twice a
goes
day
for the
sometimes.
kill.
No,
See,
Kanata gets
this
knocked.
focuses onto them. And then Bolt has to come in, pick him up in this form, but Rapid.
Oh my gosh, that was
in there, so it
clean.
kinda slows things down for a second, but the pressure's still coming through. King's Trio's the one on the other layer right in front of them. They actually leave Kanata behind, so clearly Rapid couldn't even pick up the body.
Wait a minute.
Might get him. They might get him. It's a miss. Med miss there. Kept him in the game. I don't even know who dropped that. It could have been Rapid. Could have left him there with the med miss. Who knows? Just have to find out later.
And they have
Huge.
a couple more in their inventory.
Bolt, he needs this.
The selfless play coming out of
Oh
Bolt's
my
mind.
gosh.
You could take this cape. You got it. I got
Bolt
some dashes. I could smoothly move around.
is not on high ground. Oh, I thought Cold was on high ground. It's curved.
That I have, but the high ground goes on over to Josh, Tyler,
Bolt,
and
he's out here
Curve.
playing
Ringer so
support,
far during this FNCS.
catching the bodies and throwing them in. I love that for him.
Confidence and have an avalanche of momentum start to go in your stride.
Cold gets a kill though on Mason
All the credit, the way they made
and
it
Madeline.
fully high ground right there. It was
Fine.
their doing.
EXE.
Focusing in on anyone who wanted to contest them and see eye to eye. And just like that, it manages to give them a little bit of a lead here in the lobby here. And they're determining the pace of this endgame.
Oh
That is
my
not something you
gosh.
see a newer trio like this do. A team
America.
that had as much experience in endgame, but they are playing like professionals right now. I mean,
What about you? Where are you from?
team in shambles. You got Kanata's trio
Oh
clearly
my
in
gosh.
shambles. And look at this. The pressure coming from the top down is exactly how you're supposed to do this.
But somebody looked up. Somebody looked up and chopped it down. One of them is going to fall overall. Cole's going to go down as well, so it's not going to be for free. Bolt's trying to break his way into those cover. The zone is doing so so much damage. He has to try to find a way out. He doesn't have the misform. He cannot cape to the other side, but Cole goes down. That's the siphon he was looking for. And 90 left on the chug. And
Rapid goes down.
well. Bolts is making magic happen right before our very eyes.
We didn't even see Peterbot die. Or they just died. Oh my gosh, Muzz, dogs on him.
Down the momentum. Josh was building up with Curve's trio there, and now leaving Curve by himself. And that was a
Bolts.
elimination, 5th place for him, but Bolts
This is
the one
huge.
who's gonna go ahead and put the stamp on it, and he is still going in this endgame.
Let's go, Bolts.
For a little bit. Kanata's even still alive. Out of the shadows, he emerges, but a whole trio still down below.
Let's go, Kanata.
They're on the other side, but they have to go
You
left.
need in Mox right now.
As much of the flow, and even Curly does it
They're
again.
moving clockwise though. I don't like this movement.
3 HP, forced to use that misform to try to go to the other side. Lands in the zone. He has 40 on the chug. He can't get to full health, but at least he has an opportunity to fight back. He loses his teammate along the way. He's the only solo left in the lobby.
Okay, that was good. Top 3. We
He's gonna
take
get
that.
taken down. 3v2 opportunity for Muzz. Shadow and Sphinx to close this one out.
This is big here. Muzz jumping around. He's got that visual, trying to just stay low key here, but cutting him off. Shadow comes down as well. Shadow's just one pump away from getting sent back, though. He's got to be careful. Misform, though. Perfectly done. Down goes Reap. 2v1 situation. Cooper, you're good. But Muzz is here to clean things up, and just like that.
Well, there you go.
The dust under the rug. Well played for them as they start to put themselves closer to the top.
3
An offer.
points going into this game.
What kind of offer?
Place. And their best game so far through the weekend was a 4th with 13 eliminations. They've been all over the leaderboard. They finally.
Peterbot, Cold Ritual, they're still holding down the #1.
Peterbot in first
Let's
place.
just break this down, guys. If Peterbot,
Oh my
Cold
gosh,
Ritual
it's
is
coming down to
Adrian
elims.
or Boyo have a
Now,
spot,
oh my
then that must
gosh.
mean the next 2 spots.
Yeah, go ahead and share it. I'm not saying I'll do anything, but yeah. Hey, we got Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot in first place, purely off elims. If we're going placement points alone, they're tied. Boyo and Peterbot are tied. But Cold and Ritual just are getting a little bit more elims, I guess, because you know Peterbot, he's doing his thing at all times.
Are in the top 4. Wait a minute, Muzz is in the top.
Probably not. I already got someone that's trying to help me out with that. But if you want to share your info, if you want to follow me on Instagram or something, and I'll check out your page, and if it's like really good stuff, maybe I'll DM you.
To see the improvement,
Just follow me on Instagram. It should be like down in the description.
But we got to talk about the team that's been sticking pretty in 3rd place. Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid. Definitely not the best game or the worst game out of them, all things considered. But Bolts, man, time and time again, he's just able to pull out
themselves in the lead.
All right, Peterbot has to be dropping on him, right?
Might be that wild card, that factor. No one saw crash.
Actually, they don't need to.
Storylines here today, and they're just trailing behind.
Yeah, and it's, you see at the top of the leaderboard, I kind of saw it. I was like, okay, it's only 12-point difference, but where's the breakdown coming from? It's literally 3 eliminations. Agers, Acorn,
Game 9.
Cold, Peterbot, they have 57 to 54 eliminations, tied at 291 placement points overall. And Rapid cut out their bolts. They have
Everyone got into the lobby.
eliminations that they're lacking.
No one has died yet. Who's the first to die?
Leaderboard, they're actually keeping up in eliminations. It's Muzz, it's Shadow, and Sphinx. It's just the consistency of the games that they're not able to make it through as often as some of the other teams at the top of the leaderboard. But with 4 games left, Monster, or I should say 3.
Mason is the first to die. No, man.
Almost anywhere, if it's the NBA Finals or the Super Bowl, that 2 minutes that is left on the clock feels like an eternity.
For Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, they might pull the upset that will send Booga, Threats, and Craze out of globals, right? Like, we were looking at things just moments ago, and it seems like it was their tournament to take to kind of start the day off, but couldn't be further from the truth. Meanwhile, the
Pissed on.
here, Aoxy, Jojo, Fishy Pikes, they've learned their lesson coming out of the previous rounds here. They look look to make quick work. They do just that here to kind of send us on our way.
So nothing too exciting in the early game. Exciting right now in the early game.
Spire NPCs is dealing some damage onto these players that are kind of just tunneling around, just trying to get these eliminations. It does look like Blue is dropped by himself, but he evens up the tides with a knock onto Monty. So it's basically him versus Scuffy's in a 1v1. He misses that first shot. Now he's just down to his last one in the Outlaw, but he goes down to Scuffy's. But you have to be careful. Top left of the map. The Spire's making some noise, and you know who else lands here.
Yeah, I was gonna say though, you know, with missing those shots like that, you almost deserve to not walk away successful there. Like Scuffy's team just managed to somehow find his grip and then clutch that one out big time. And you see Sphinx and Shadow just lurking. They hear what's happening, but they didn't quite take the jump there. Missed opportunities. Peterbot, Cold and Ritual back to the brutal boxcar. Business as usual for them. It's almost now the bigger question is, what more can they do? They've
All right, let's see it. Cold, Ritual. Y'all are in first place,
almost chose peace to some degree, right? They didn't,
but it's not
they
over.
haven't done anything out of the ordinary. They've in fact played very, very standard games. But Jacob, look at this. Look at this lurk.
Yeah,
Even when Peterbot's just doing normal, he's still in first place though, by
yourself, but you gotta imagine after hearing the fight, knowing the Spire took some time to get taken down. Now Shadow actually gets visual of where they're at, seeing Monty using that surf cube to fly across the land. This is where they're going to continue this chase, and I'm not sure when they're going to call it quits because they also need damage just like everybody else.
Yeah, they got to initiate this one quickly here, or they will lose plenty of time here. This team is just slowly opening the gap as far as the distance, and yeah, Cole bends behind that mountain, so he'll be out of sight and out of mind for a little bit here, and they might have really just missed their key opportunity. This could be the catalyst that sets them back. Oh, yeah. They're really looking for this one now.
And I saw them kind of looking back in the minimap with the arrows, but I'm not sure with the line of sight that they actually spotted them out going on the chase. As Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo have rotated from Supernova Academy. They're trying to isolate Cooper on the north side. This has been their strategy all season long. They have it uncontested, or at least they thought so. No damage onto Cooper just yet up until the tail end. Only about 30, so he reunites with Curly. Both trios converging back into one another, making sure they don't take too many early game risks. And this is what I'm talking about, the mental games that are going on with some of these teams. Everything that they practiced for up until this moment has changed for the most part. The way they're getting surged, the way they're able to push teams and getting eliminations, both of these teams for that matter.
Hey, very methodical too. Clicks continuously bringing and carrying along those extra heals for the fight too. So they're pretty much prepared for everything to happen here and unfold, possibly even go the distance in the storm. That was very interesting to say the least. Bryce Skittles Dash haven't quite caught a break here in the last 2 tournament days. I mean, even this one here, pretty tough. Only 4 points earned on the day. Some of which just in this game. That single Elam.
Almost makes you wonder this fight here that they were able to get that first knock. I only see 2, King and Void on the other side of this exchange. Not too many other players in the mini map, maybe one far off to the east as Bryce takes a little bit more damage. No shield gonna be remaining. Just a little bit of his HP gone as well. And Skittles just creates a path for him to return. They're gonna heal up, feel a little safe.
You gotta dodge that.
Is it worth fighting out this duo? And I do think it is, or at least for now. They haven't used too many materials, but
Can't put yourself in that situation.
You see a couple of empty slots. That's what they hope to gain out of this transaction.
That's what he should have done from the beginning.
Right there. I was gonna say almost caught some toes there to King, but the Bills come out, and honestly 3v2, huge HP lead, should be wrapped up pretty quickly. Things are not going in Muzz and Shadow's favor, and this is what happens when you start to force the engagement, right? Almost a little too overextended, given that they were trailing behind that other team, and now Smiley, Chimp, and Salt here seem to come out ahead. This is bad, though. They were already off to, one might say, a really slow start, but then losing a teammate, right? So losing a damage there that they would have otherwise gained as well is just, this is just, yeah, bad for Muzz and Shadow's trio here.
Oh my.
Let's look at the other side of that coin, though. Clicks Yamzo Higgs. They actually stole that Spire away from Reek, Cooper, and Curly, rotated back over Supernova Academy to catch one of them off guard. Gray is still there in the distance. They think somebody might be on high ground. You see the Superman
That's
strike
funny.
being used to laser.
They got a
on the bullets, and
knock.
I do think they might have gotten
You're
the knock.
joking
Yes, they
me.
do. On to Preston. 2 of the 3 members down. Higgs goes to clean it up. He takes an immense amount of damage. Yamzo as well.
That was
but
tech. Cold dead.
that elimination. That's the 3rd player of that
Oh
trio.
my
They're wiped and
gosh.
sent back to the lobby.
Couldn't have asked for a better time siphon either. Right there to really just keep him alive for a moment. Click 6 Yamzo. They have so much ground to make up if they want to at least end this tournament with a good showing. You know, the win might be out of the question, but at the end of the day, those standings stay forever. We haven't seen him really be this off, you know, a tournament win all year. So there's going to be a time to kind of, you know, drop.
Canada just getting this
have a
damage
bad
in.
one. It's now, right? It's not before globals, so save the good stuff for globals.
I can kind of agree with that, especially since they have less pressure than most of the teams, especially coming into day 2. Not necessarily high up on the leaderboard, so they can kind of just play a little bit more calm, cool, collected, comfortable to what they practiced. As Kanata and Bolts Rapid doing the same thing, game after game, they build up. They immediately look towards this side of the map. For Blake, Diego, and Oliver usually end up in a priority position on top of the mountain. Trading off Surge, back and forth. But Diego, Oliver, and Blake, they're the ones out of these 2 teams that kind of run into struggles just like this, with more and more teams from the south, from the western parts of the map that usually traverse over in their direction and end up third-partying or at least threatening their position.
There's not a hint of metal in Oliver OG's loadout right now. They don't have much heavy mats to work with. Not sure what all's happening.
Might as well get the fucking apple from in there.
They seem to be off the pace for endgame.
Oh, he's nervous.
Jigs Trio not moving a cent here.
Exactly. Get the coconut,
You
Blake.
guys can get going. We're gonna chill here for a second.
It's not going to be too hard for them to get on out. Oliver has to be careful trailing behind, but back on over here. They eventually had to go back for that.
Acorn dead.
Gets boxed up. He is in misform, but down
No
on his
way.
own. He needs to siphon, but it doesn't come in time. Now Shadow's going to be left.
I miss who
on
killed him, though. I
One
didn't see,
tick
'cause
zone.
I
They
was
beat
watching my
right
screen.
through those builds and take them down, and that has got to feel like a heartbreaker for Mud, Shadow, and Sphinx, because they are in 2nd place when it comes to the
Ager's
global
dead.
championship slot.
That elusive 28.
Why are we watching this? No one knows who Salt is.
Second time today.
Agers
in the early
And
game.
Acorn dead. It's all up to Poyo right now, and we're watching Smiley hide in a cone.
Back into the conversation, but you know what? If you're a VG Money Rise, if you're Booga Threats and Craze, you're clapping your hands, you're stomping your feet, you're sitting up straight, you know, you're feeling good about this right now. That's that immediate competition off the track now.
And this kind of almost goes into kind of, well, I think we were talking about it during group stages, to where you're in a position where Vive, G Money, and Rise, it's almost good that you have that much experience, and especially a leader like Rise, because we talked about how sometimes when you're in that position where you really don't have to do much, don't have to make too much noise on the leaderboard, just play your game out like normal. Sometimes that does something in your mental. You change up the strategies and sometimes make a mistake. As Cole, Monty, Scuffies, they were the ones we saw rotate out of this direction. They're getting lurked on by Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts. They get the 3-2-1, but luckily for them, they spotted them out at the last second. Not
Acorn
too much
knocked
game-changing
again.
damage is going to be received, so they're going to have a chance to kind of defend this spot.
Can we watch that?
I was saying Rapid's gonna initiate the misform to the top. No, end up giving it up.
Agers knocked again.
Little risk assessment there.
Why are we watching this?
You know, sometimes you gotta know when to pick and choose your battles, and with Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts, so
Is this grand finals or is this a Kanata VOD review?
tournament here, I don't blame them for backing off here.
Agers finished.
Especially when the zone is going in that direction. I agree with you there. It's too much risk, not enough reward if they did want to take a
I
fight.
think
just
Peterbot's
like
still
that.
alive, yeah.
Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. Kind of going back into the storm. boating around Utopia City. They're just trying to rotate.
Agers finished again.
Everybody from the western
Okay,
side
I
of the
don't
map
know.
in.
Maybe
They
he
know
did.
that's
I
going to
don't
be the
know.
congested. The stack side overall.
Maybe he just
so they're
keeps getting
sacrificing
knocked.
some HP, sacrificing some of this damage and time overall, so that way they can get a slower rotation in, where it's not as congested as every other side. But that looked like a far pull, so it might be a little bit more congested than they first hoped.
I'm going back to the drop map. I'm trying to see.
Boy on them on the island
They
though.
go all the way eastern and play the outskirts. It's almost as if, I don't know, they're trying to like get onto someone's side of the map. Is it the right call? Is it not? We'll just have to find out who they end up crashing with here soon.
I'm wondering right now, like, I was gonna say, I got Bubble Shield coming out of Acorn right now. I know he's probably one of the best IGLs that thinks in and outside of that box, but Bubble Shields with no mobility, but he picks up the Surf Cube. Just making sure to stay safe. Bubble Shields alleviating some of the pressure. Tuning to Scare, just getting tagged up a lot by Curve, just basically have him drowned out. He tries to misform away, but it's just seconds too late. Tyler's there, cleans up that second down onto Magma. 2 of the 3 players of that trio are down. Cosser's trying to run away, but it looks like they each had their fun.
So highlight for them there. Pick up some points. Visual breaks and a Minish though. Team that's very much in the conversation right now. 385 coming into the game. 122 on the day. No simple task from them. You know, earning some points here. Definitely putting up a few elims.
Kind of get that priority position here. They haven't had to move too much all game long. They kind of concede that island to Agers, Acorn, and Poyo. It's not worth the risk fighting against one of the best teams in the lobby, especially when they can get mountain ranges elsewhere for their surge. Buka Crazen threats pretty quick to rotate out of Utopia City. Kind of.
No, it's crazy. The more I watch this game, the more I realize I have a very different playstyle. Like I got an Acorn playstyle.
Towards the center of the map, but you gotta trust in Buga threats. Craze, they're very, very quick. They're calculated about where and why they rotate out, and they immediately build one of those towers that they have over towards Utopia, extending the distance to make sure they have covered as much of the render distance as possible.
Back to the floodgate. Hayes, Clicks, and Yamza go. They're kind of right in between somewhat of a deadly triangle, right? You have Acorn's team up top. You saw Peterbaugh's team not really too far off, kind of playing this outside eastern rotate too. So you have to wonder, this is definitely the right call right now to start repositioning back into the zone here.
Last time I remember taking the rotation yesterday, they found an elimination on that team using the zip line. Luckily for them, nobody floating around. They get over the Foxy Bridge, underneath the island. This is where they're kind of hoping it kind of pulls in their favor, but you see it goes a little bit more towards the south, kind of forcing Agers, Acorn, and Poyo off of the island in the direction of those mountain ranges between G Money, Rise, and Aviv. They haven't had too far of rotation so far in this game, landing over towards Outpost. They did get that one elimination. The only question mark I have for a team like this is what is their Storm Surge like overall?
Strategy yesterday was to just play slow and steady. They were one of the few teams that I think were doing, you know, just fine, kind of exchanging with rifles, not necessarily jumping onto players. But look at the feed. Agers finds Clicks with a quick knock. We already saw that that was far north there. We knew that Agers team was obviously securing that island there.
Clicks is back up.
Vertical view. Clicks picked up. Back in the game here.
Ooh, wow. I was waiting for it to update. I thought
150 below? Oh, heck no.
146 below the damage threshold. Another game where they're not able to find their footing in terms of being able to accumulate that damage. And then you include the fact that this game, unlike some of the others, is pulling far towards the south. So they're not even really able to get a track on some of these teams that are trying to beat them on the rotation. Up above, they have to watch out. Across the water, they have to be wary of another team, even on the mountain ranges. Luckily for them, they're literally a hop, skip, and a throw away from the zone where they can easily find their spot in with just one dash.
Yeah, they've used a lot of dashes, though. They've just continued to kind of replenish it on the way. So that's just showing you how dangerous of a spot they found themselves in. Not even just being below the surge, but just almost out of pocket, out of position. Making Boyo Ragers much more comfortable than their counters. Look at this. They just can't catch a break. Cold Ritual and Peterbot back and forth, almost like a tug of war when it comes down to their positioning in the lobby. Almost sent right back crawling, but they managed to kind of recover here and situate themselves back into it. But I thought for a moment there we would have seen an early knock.
Uh-oh. You see why they're crashing right now. They're below the damage threshold. They went after the first team they saw. Coincidentally enough, that's Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. And it's active surge, 25 damage every 7 seconds. You almost got to pop double minis just to give yourself a chance at 50 shield. You see huge chunks of HP missing out of Clix and Yamzo as well. Higgs is the only one with HP intact. He's trying to pop those bigs, but they have not gone ahead and stepped any bit closer to getting damage on a Kanata.
Look at them. Kanata's team kind of waiting for the opportunity to fight back. Higgs jumps out. He breaks off to look for a new opportunity here. And this is just not good at all. 46 below. Couldn't catch a break, and their team fall once again just a little bit early.
Oh, man.
But right before that, Lee Cooper and Curly, they found a team just sneaking around. It's just kind of one of those wonders to where when you're below surge, you have less and less control over your game plan. You're almost forced to fight teams no matter who they are on the other side, no matter what position they're in. And on the other side, Cooper, Reed, and Curly, they're able to sit back, relax, kind of let that team hit that brick wall, fire shots, trade through, and another team's looking like they're hitting that same speed bump.
The holder here are kind of recoups here. Only 184 above, though. They will have to fight here. Another team jumps in from behind them. It's a full team hop. And Cooper forced to misform. Luckily, they do have control of all these builds here. He'll escape for a second. Somehow Curly buys a little bit of time and not long enough here. All up to Cooper right now. Can he at least get one of these trades? No. They secure the loot back off. This is bad.
Yeah, that was the quick stat curse. I'm gonna call that one the quick stat curse. They were just talking about Cooper, Reed, and Curly. 3 back-to-back second places in a row. The first time ever at NAC finals. A blink of an eye, it goes away. Reed and Curly just get down, knocked out of the competition for this game, leaving all the pressure onto Cooper. And there's not even very many placement points and points overall dished out through these teams in this game, so they have a mountain to climb if they want to continue to keep their position in the top 10 intact.
Stats guys, like, let me show you why it's not 4 back-to-back-to-backs. Oh man, it do be like that. Look at this, Peterbot Cold and Ritual position.
Like, dude, I'm trying to clean my house, but this is so invigorating. I'm so sucked in.
That lobby focus. This is what we saw
Like,
before.
holding them alive. 700 above in Storm.
Yeah, I feel bad for any team that's
Storm
like
surge,
backside
let's
of
go.
the zone. Especially
Kanata gets a kill. My boy.
Onto Cyclops. His teammates might be there.
Huge.
But the chances
They need it.
of getting that one as Bolts does get the cleanup. Even Cold getting it down onto Fleeks. They go in for the loop. They're having to use their misforms. Rapid from one side, Bolts from another. They had to take 2 different approaches, try to get anything. I'm
That
not
was
sure
cool.
what they were able to grab because I know Aviv's team also moved into the mix to try to steal away what wasn't theirs. Sometimes it might
Oh my
be
gosh.
sneaking around.
Oh
gets that
my.
shot onto Rapid. Oh my,
HQ,
Rapid
you
plays
shit
shot.
on.
Gets the elimination. That was one of those scares right there.
You just don't know what you know.
My
he's
popcorn.
waiting for you on the other side of the wall. That's crazy. You know what? For a moment there, Kanata's trio was almost flirting with not enough damage on the surge numbers there, but they put up the damage. You find that elim, and you know what? They buy themselves a little bit of time, but that overall was a very close one here for Game 9. Remember, folks, after this, there's just 3 more games ahead of us, then we're going to crown a champion. Kanata's team is in the race right now. Rise, G-Money, and Aviv not too far off depending on how big of a game they can make here. We are inside the top 15. Peterbot's going to fall here. Cold is going to find one, but they are going to get the pickup just in time. But the laser comes through, and it's Kanata's trio from the low ground looking upwards as well. But they were distracted, and then they get eliminated instead.
Wait, who died?
Wild series of events from game to game to game. This FNC.
Kanata's trio from the low ground looking upwards.
Kanata dead. Oh
They were
shit.
distracted, and then they get eliminated instead.
Just a wild series of events from game to game to game. This FNCS final. They really dodged one there, able to get the revive. And here comes that kind of crash play right before it happened. This is what happened with Peterbot going down. It was Aaron on the other side. He got the down onto Peterbot. Luckily though, Ritual and Cold in the same box. Hipped it.
Acorn and them on height.
Haven't tuned in with them in a while, but second place team coming into this game, Agers, Acorn, and Pollo. It looks like for now, they're going to be the teams that are inching closer and closer towards that high ground. It's really dependent on where this next zone pulls.
This is perfect. Boyo, Agers, Acorn. It's like they're playing a completely different game. Oh, we tune in with them. Silence, comfortability, high ground, medallions, loot. Like, it's just so different of a situation when you put yourself in the key positions to succeed. You really do see a night and day difference. You almost feel it in the ambience and the atmosphere. But here's something that's, once again, a fact. Bolts and Rapid are standing. And it's just a matter of time of whether or not they can go the distance here. One of the few that can be the champions here come the end of this. Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual well above the damage threshold, so this is just all about consistency and end game placements now. But Peterbot fighting his way through the make round. We know what that means. He's here to hunt. Cold dashed into that box too, ready to commit.
Well, okay then.
Yoinks him in with the exotic outlaw, making sure that they're able to grab the body. That's what you see. Sometimes he just sits in some of those boxes, not necessarily to get all the damage in one shot, but just to pull them closer and closer. That way Ritual and Cold can try to clean this one up. 19 above the damage threshold. You talked about Bolts and Rapid being a duo. They're almost, I think, 31 points out of first place to start this game, and it's because of opportunities like this. When one of them goes down, they never call it quits. Rise, G-Money, and Aviv talk about trying to get to the global championship to start this game. They were in third place on the global championship leaderboard qualification outside of Mud, Shadow, and Sphinx, but them going down early have definitely turned the tables. Placement points are coming in. I think they might have stolen that spot back.
Hate to say it, but someone's got to stop Agers, Pollo, and Acorn. If you don't, I mean, it's literally their show right now. Ritual's going to fall here to their exact hands. The pressure coming up from top down is just too much to handle, and Peterbot forced into the ultimate low, now literally burning through his builds here, and they just aren't comfortable enough here. What was looking like a lead being built is just getting sniped away now by Agers and the team.
And look at Agers. Look at where Agers is focusing this entire time. Right on the Cold, right on the Peterbot. He's looking like they were trying to get aggressive, but that got cut short. Burning through the materials. Now with an open opportunity, Scuffies is going to be the name on that list that gets checked off. Peterbot gets the elimination. The Medmist smoke is down. He has some time here into the zone, but that also makes him a target. That green mist, it's like a beacon from a lighthouse. Agers, Acorn, and Poyle continue to put that pressure down from above.
Look at the tracking too. Cold finding Elans as well as players are dashing and misting all around him. Him and Peterbot doing it best here. And look, taking lead now, opening up the tarps here. G-Money and Aviv, though, have to play this one out just by themselves as well. And he's inside the storm. Finds a little relief, though, from the med mist. There's a player there waiting. He doesn't even have time to fight back. There's just pressure happening. And look at the moves. How bad do you want it?
Peterbot dead.
Showing us he's here to play. King and Phaser now continuing to pop off here today as well. Doing an excellent job into the box to support King now. But Cold is finding all the tags, and another one presents himself. There's the knock. And you wouldn't even tell he's in the storm because the siphon is feeding him.
I don't think he got the last few of those knocks, though. That means he's on the clock, has to make his way in. He did so much damage. He took down so many teams. Everybody else in this game, Monster, is a solo. I know what you're thinking. They already have 3 wins so far. Could a fourth be out of reach? Nah, it's definitely within their grasp, and they're dropping down to take it. Agers, Pollo, they know what position they're in. Ozone taking damage. He goes down to cold. 2 solos left on that low ground, and Curve is next on that list.
Cold is just going. At this point, he's like, yeah, you guys might win the game, but I'm here to win the war. He's going at it, finding points. Finally, now he gets taken out in 3rd place. Boyo, Agers, and Acorn are on a run of a century. Curve may have gone to the top, but it's only a matter of time. There it is, just shy of a 10 elimination game. They do it once again.
That was absolutely perfectly played at the end of the day. You said it, 9 eliminations to win 101 points out of that game, and dropping down cold. Peterbot and Ritual outside of the top 2, denying as many points.
In that last game,
High ball game. Look at that scoreboard for a second. One team has no wins, and they're tied with the team with 4 wins. Shit. This is crazy.
Cold has to solo clutch his game. 3rd place, 10 elims as a trio. And that's what's keeping them alive right now. Alive because they start.
Let's see what everyone has to say about the score.
I don't know how we keep doing this, but after that last game, okay, the Pollo won, okay, we are still 1 point difference. We started the day, and we thought, oh, Pollo, you know, they're 100 points behind Peterbot. You know, is the Pollo versus Peterbot dream alive? And yes, it's very much alive because they started the game with a VR, they closed the distance, and now we're just going back and forth, guys. I cannot believe it. And to think all of this happened because you think, oh yeah, Pollo's far ahead. No. In that last game, Cold has to solo clutch his game. 3rd place, 10 elims as a trio. And that's what's keeping them alive right now.
We got a little taste of it yesterday. Game number 3, Cold solo clutched once again, and just time and time he is able to do it. Honestly, Peterbot and Cold are able to bring out these incredible solo clutches, and that's why even without a single victory royale compared to the 4 that Acorn's trio has, they are just 1 point behind them. It does not matter if this is a trio competition. You can make it a duo, you can make it a solo competition, and these players are able to hold themselves up the leaderboard through eliminations, through sheer will force. They're able to do it so many times.
I mean, we're just getting spoiled at this point. This is crazy. I don't even know what to say half of the time. It just, how are these trios kind of doing this? I mean, we're seeing solo clutches across the board today, but to be the one to go ahead and keep your team alive, right? As you can see right there, Peterbot just went down in 10th place. Cold is left alive as a solo from 10th place and ends up clutching up that 3rd place spot. Absolutely incredible. So I mean, that's such a long time to live as a solo. It's crazy that he's kind of able to do that.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. I mean, it kind of feels like we should just be wrapping up the day right now, but we still got 3 more games. Like, how is that possible?
Oh man, I don't even know. This fight at the top is so insane, but you cannot forget they've already qualified to the Global Championship. If we turn our attention back to the standings, we're looking at a top 4 finish. We saw the last game, Muzz was in that top 4, but because of this last game, they placed 28th with no elims. They get eliminated, and then Aviv, G-Money, Rise, they jump in, they swap places. This is literally going to come down to a wire in top 4. And that's before any other trio who's already qualified decides to make a play for some of those higher end spots. Guys, what is going on? This is so close everywhere.
NA wanted to make sure that you were ready and anticipating the global championships. They wanted to put on a show for everyone to keep those hype levels up, and that is exactly what NAC is doing, especially when you are within consideration of Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. Currently sitting in third place with 525 points. It is almost but confirmed that they will be making their way to the global championships. But like you said, Zeke, with 3 more games to go, so much can still change. But what we know is not going to be changing is Bolt's and Rapid's ability to be able to make it to the end game every single time.
I tell you what, though, right? They kind of maintained that streak of getting top 8 right there. There was a little bit of a slip up, place in 11th place right there, but you know, I'm gonna be a little greedy today, right? We got a 1-point difference between Peterbot and Acorn. You know what? I want Kanata in the mix now. I want him to win this next game, and I want it to be even closer at the top. Not between 2 teams, but between 3.
Bro, just think, right? If we get a game where Pollo and Peterbot are eliminated and Kanata does win, yeah, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, I'm changing the script right now. Casters, get ready. Save me. I have to change the script. I'll be right back.
Well, the script might be changing here, folks, because Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts are one of those teams that are also vying for a global championship spot. One more good game. They are so far ahead, away from that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place team.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you look at the standings. It's not even like
Enough
they had
popcorn.
a bad game. They still had an 11th place with several eliminations. It's just that Cold played incredible. Let's see what's going to happen here, though, for game number 10. Major 3 finals game 10 is here. This is the back half of the end of the tournament, Jacob. And, you know, I just want to once again highlight how exceptional that clutch by Cold was, because we couldn't have a 1-point competition if it wasn't for how well he managed to play in the end there. And, you know, it's just the story's writing itself, right?
Yeah, and I feel like everybody that's in contention has had their solo moments. Agers on the first place team. We just saw Cold. We were talking about Rapid. There's so much on the line here, because even the prize pool 1st to 2nd place is almost $100,000 difference. So there's just so much on the line.
Show me Peterbot.
Championship
Show me
spots,
Acorn.
which kind of leads me to kind of start the conversation of, you always talk about 1st place landing on 2nd place or vice versa. Now imagine the lead is so far ahead from Booga and the next best team underneath. Maybe they start to control their own destiny.
That's exactly what I was thinking. When are these other teams gonna just go out there and take note of what the best of the best are doing? I mean, very clearly, you know, Fortnite's almost evolving. It's becoming the norm that you can just go ahead and do plays like that. Not only is it interesting for us, the spectators, but it is best interest for you, the player, too. So yeah, Booga Threats and Craze really want it. I mean, it might just make sense. Hey, Aviv, G Money, you gotta go. Rapid, Kanata, Bolts, you know what? You gotta go, right? Like, someone's gotta stop these other teams too if you want to make it to globals. That's the most prestigious thing that's on the line here, besides, of course, the trophy.
Yeah, no one's playing for 1st place anymore besides Kanata. Or obviously Peterbot and Acorn also, but like everyone else is playing for that global spot.
You can't make too many mistakes. Eliminations are a must, as Neko. Liam and Zabi over at the first order. They do have 2 eliminations so far, so they're not able to take down the full trio. Somebody around here might be floating around trying to get those reboot cards, but at least for them, they were not
1 team fully eliminated.
Points for the eliminations, push that team out, and give themselves a chance here to start to loot up and play out the full game.
Xanda, Power, and Void landing Bamboo Split. This is not good.
Seems like he might be looking to set things up very similarly, but Power Blue Zonda this time, not playing that water's edge, sticking hip to hip a little bit more closely. Given how
this is bad.
Sent back to the lobby last game.
I see him though. Yep, I'll say I see him there. I saw the 3 different arrows. Acorn, your green does not blend in well enough. Luckily for them though, he disengages on out. Tries to go ahead and play with the rest of the team. He probably just doesn't see the
Clicks is fighting. Peterbot, he's fighting Peterbot.
Looking to get aggressive, but it's Peterbot. It's Clicks, Hicks, and Yamzo versus Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual.
Are we serious?
On over to brutal boxcars, and they reach that quickly because of the railing.
I'm trying to figure out why. What's going on here? Where's the personal vendetta in this one? You're probably thinking like, hey, you remember that Major 2 finals thing that happened? Yeah, let's go talk about that. Come meet me at the boxcars. And they're just here to mess around, putting some tags down. Nothing really turned out from it just yet. I doubt they...
Yeah, this is weird.
I want to say that, but at the same time, this FNCS has me in a loop trying to predict what's going to happen, what are on some of these teams' mind, and another one right there. Clicks is just dropping down, close the distance, but this is where it gets a little dicey and even a little risky for Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs if they want to continue to push this. Inside of those buildings, there's so many twists, turns, places that you can hide that it is a little bit of a risk to continue to fight it in, but it does look like that's the only thing on their mind right now.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? That whole tweet about Peterbot's gonna fight everyone who wants the Spire. Well, guess what? We want the Spire. We're not good with just top 10. Clicks and team want to fight for more. You gotta respect him for trying to do so. Here it is. Clicks goes in, but Peterbot is smart and sharp. A big tag there is gonna put Clicks on the back foot. Now it's Peterbot's world.
This was a huge part of Clicks, Yamzo, and Higgs' game plan up until Peterbot decided to land over here. They fought for this Spire. They pushed teams out. And now the tables have turned coming into this major, and they're trying to stick back to what works. And that's just fighting for the brutal boxcars while taking their loot. They didn't take too much time to try to make this play happen, but you said it yourself, the tables have been turned from one well-placed shot out of Peter.
Oh my fucking dog, though.
One side to the next, keeping everybody on their toes, and he continues to deal a huge amount of damage. Yamzo's gonna be the next one hurt. Clicks is now by himself as a solo. 3 mean dogs staring him out, and they're ready to take a bite out of him, but he's fighting back. First shot's gonna land, but it's not going to be enough. You gotta give him an A for the
no, man.
Peterbot and S+.
I can hear Faxity now yelling King Peterbot and
Oh my.
words. You know what it is and what time it is.
No.
Peterbot, Ritual, and Cold are here to play, and you know what? That's 12 more points for them as well. You can scratch
That was
point.
insane.
It is what it is, and that's a crazy fight. And
That
you
is
have to
so
give respect
incredible.
to Clicks, Higgs, and Yamzo. They need to do
Peterbot
something.
just hitting that counterclockwise rotation the entire time.
Cooper, Curly, that isn't working either, right? So
Incredible.
to mix things up, you know what? It is very entertaining, to say the least.
That's literally putting it lightly, too, as HQ Leaks just trying to survive. Their duo here, rotating around this side of the map. They kind of led over towards the left, the snow biome over on the same southern pool. And you can see why there's not a lot of loot down there, especially since the team is on top of the mountain. But HQ is fighting for his life. Only one build left on the both of them because Leaks is in the same spot. He lands a good shot on the blue, dashes out. He's trying to create distance while his teammate Cube is able to actually get the knock. Not able to clean it up, though. That's going to be the biggest difference maker.
Yeah, got to get those finishes, but this team does live to see another day. Just overall having a pretty tough tournament day, though. See those points not necessarily in their favor.
Yeah, I like this right there. He was able to get the down and just... Unfortunate enough, he knew they were right behind him. Low HP, not able to clean it up. Has to use the misform to disengage.
Oliver OG.
I do like the scrappy attempt.
A bunch of rats fighting at Canyon's Crossing.
They are going to Shadow, or I should say Curve, Tyler, and Josh trying to fight on the southern end of Canyon's Crossing on top of that mountain range. And this is where it gets a little dicey because if you haven't prepared for this fight, you are going to burn through a lot of your materials very quickly.
They're just cranking up right now, but look at this.
So those kills on Clicks puts them in first place.
They have control of these builds. I'm not sure what all is going
Not that we
on.
have to start counting points like that right now, but
The plot right now for sure. These are
if you
not
think about it, like if it comes down to the wire,
just territory of your opponents on a single layer. But seems like they kind of re-controlled things for a second there. Oliver OG fighting back now. Forcing Tyler, Curve, and Josh to regroup. This is right at the edge of the Canyon's Crossing, so there's going to be no one here to bail them out.
There's going to be a third team. I wonder if anybody even saw them kind of lurk in, because I know they're crouched down in the distance. Trying to sneak up, trying to figure out where that opening to the cover is at. No, they're striking now, and they get good damage onto Josh. Tyler was already weak, so if they continue to push in, that will be the opening that they're looking for. But you hear the misform come out. They're just going to disengage on out. Blake and Diego also creating a little bit of distance so they don't get pushed out of here. But overall, the full trios up on top are going to be safe, and Curve and his trio down below are going to create some distance.
Just watching it all go down. Oliver OG, Diego, Blake pushing to try to finish up what they started here. Those fresh builds, that's all the information they need right here. Protecting the back right now.
Good minis, no mobility though. Kind of the give and take you kind of have landing on this side of the map. Not as many access to some of those dash sprites. If you don't get a cape, it's almost good luck to you as Blake and them continue to go around the outside of this map. They kind of funnel themselves downward towards Canyon's Crossing, and they have one team behind them they were originally facing. There's another team, a 4th overall team on the other side of Canyon's Crossing, spraying in
Canyon's Crossing is not the spot. I would know. I landed there for a season.
Still looking though, Josh, Tyler, Curve, not here to give up just yet. Seem to have kind of regrouped, but look, no material, Jacob. Do they take the fight? Do they try to just gather elsewhere?
Risky to do anything. You continue to fight, third parties are there. You disengage, third parties are there. Well, guess what? There was 4 teams. Well, let me introduce you to team number 5 on the eastern side of the mountain and team number 6 to the southern side of the mountain. Might as well just converge on this location, which surprises me because you see the zone pulling all the way towards the north. You'd think players want to be proactive to try to get there, but nah. They need damage. They need
Oliver OG knock.
Oliver OG is going to be the first one dropped.
Curve knock.
But in the blink of an eye, he gets taken down as well. Diego and Blake are forced to fight right back.
It's anyone's game.
Just moments ago, I was like, yeah, no one's going to come down to the Canyons Crossing. Who's going to build?
Diego gets a nasty pump.
Shows up.
Oliver OG looking like he's going to be able to get rezzed.
Near this area, but somehow this has become the attraction point for team after team, and this could be going down in a worse area because they all get to look down on you and put that pressure in. But hey, Diego, Oliver OG come out on top. They still catch a couple elims.
So we got Muzz and Sphinx just trading for Surge still. No shotgun.
And I think because of those two teams, basically one team winning out, the dust settling, the zone pulling towards the north, you're essentially forcing them to go their separate ways, especially being this early in the game, haven't really been able to get your loot, your resources, and everything that you need. The island this time around pulling on over to this side of the map kind of makes me question why King, FaZe, or PHN weren't the ones to go for it. So they kind of concede it to a whole nother team on the other side, but they're still making their way over in that direction. I think the way this game has been played out with Peterbot sneaking on over to Lone Wolf, Clicks lurking on over to Lone Wolf, they kind of are just having that double take. Maybe in the back of their mind, they're just worried about teams just hiding anywhere at all.
Yeah, just kind of living in the memory of the game before. You get caught off like that, definitely will do something to you. Booga's not see visuals right there? Oh, I was going to say, okay, he's behind the mountain. But of course, that visual nameplate, I'm like, wait, was he at the tree and just glanced at him?
Ooh, I like a first. I like a story here. Craze has the chance to qualify his first FNCS LAN. I'm here with it, along with one of the greats, Booga, Threats, and him, longtime teammates. They have the chemistry, and that's why Kelly kind of broke it down perfectly. They were kind of missing something as a part of their team. They pick up Craze, life, new resurgence, trust in Booga, the IGL, Threats, you know he can get all the damage in the world, and Craze is kind of that clutch player, the fragger that just gets him out of some tight spots like they did to close out game 1.
I feel like I haven't seen Reed do anything crazy this tournament.
It definitely will be a nice little storybook finish to his year's end. Can you get that first LAN in the books? Almost set up the next generation for the new year to come. That will be a big deal for Craze. Reed and Curly underneath the island right now. Plenty of teams kind of in the vicinity, but they're just going to keep a low profile, get the recharges going as they need.
I'm actually surprised that Shrine is even still accessible. Probably the team down below just went straight up top, kind of gave it up, left it for free. They prioritized the medallion, but that's some superhero upgrade. That's some loot that pops out of there. And then replenishing the dashes if you used any. But the zone pulled towards the north, so instead of Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts going on the hunt for their surge on each side of the map, just kind of based up perfectly the island north of Crime City. You can kind of see the near edge of the zone there on the bottom right-hand corner, so it is pulling not only towards the north, but to the northwest overall.
Yeah, you see how prepared they are. Like, just as Kanata was kind of making his ascent up that base there. I mean, so many minis, heals. Look at the base of the mountain, just everything.
Come on, Kanata.
Need, of course, to go for trades, go for tags.
Yeah.
Things off here.
That's what I like to see.
Trying to make a move right now for better positioning. They're going to be in the crossfire of Kanata.
Not too bad. Going into this game, though, I want to point out Agers, Acorn, Pollo in the lead by 1. But due to that Ritual, Cold, and Peter bot fight on Eclixiamzo and Higgs, they scored 12 points. So now the lead shifts back on over to Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual in motion by 11. I'm not going to be able to keep score all game long, especially as we end towards the end game. But it just goes to show how back and forth it has been, not just yesterday, today, but each and every game and each and every minute that passes throughout those games. And Aviv, Rise, and G-Money, they're feeling that same pressure. Very, very different than their counterparts at the top of the leaderboard, but they're in 4th place. 454 points so far going into this game, and they have a little bit of a cushion. About a 41-point lead over Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, who are directly on their heels.
Yeah, I just feel like the difference for Acorn's team has been really their ability to execute high ground. They have just gotten it, held it. They've done it at the perfect amount of distance between themselves and the other layers. Like, they're making it look very, very straightforward. I mean, we tuned in last game, and like I said, there was almost an eerie silence and ambience because they were on the dead side of the rotation there and with a little bit of elevation, and no one, not a single team was able to give them a little bit of resistance there. So just their execution and their ability so far to play for height has been so excellent.
Uh-oh. Wow. Kind of essentially one pumps him, takes him down. Another elimination, 4 more points. So depending on the eliminations, Acorn's team, 15-point lead, continuing to grow. This is where they do that trick, use the dash, use the launch pad, immediately making their way on over towards that island. And even though it's not up now, you know as well as I do, there's that little circle that knows, like, hey, he's in this vicinity. That's, I think, what they're looking for here.
Looking for something. A little light at the end of the tunnel.
Nice, nice.
Coldo setting up right now. Let's see what's going on here with Aoxy. You've got a minute for Braids and Visuals, possibly in sight here. Ooh, below the search threshold, though, Jacob, at the Crime City.
Yeah, I feel like those... Obviously, the 3 eliminations matter, but they don't matter as much as eliminations do the
You got a tie ball game basically right now.
It gives you enough flexibility to rotate through some of these.
Going into the 4th quarter.
5th, 6th, 7th zone and on. You can see that the inability to be proactive to get surge kind of hinders your game plan, takes a little bit less control away from the teams. 152 below, and it's falling further and further because now they have to continue to rotate in towards the northwestern side of the map to where, yes, they're going to get closer to some of these teams, but they're going to be on the heel of these teams where they have a little bit of advantage being able to look back, just like Visual Braids and Diminish are doing.
Yeah, they have proven, Aoxy, JoJo Pipes, that they could be a great endgame team if they could just make it there. We'll see how far they can push it this time. Visuals, Braids, and Diminish, they have a lot of work to make up for. This is going to be scary either way, and like we said, you got to get to endgame first, though. Visual, Braids, and Diminish with the excellent counter-attack there. And they win not only a boatload of damage, but look at the material refresh for them. This is really good too, thinking about these mountains that might come into play right now, so kind of perfect actually.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think the lobby is hoping it continues to pull west for entertainment purposes. Maybe we go north towards this mountain, maybe we go towards the east, change the elevation, but active surge. I was thinking I heard something there with the shields being cracked. When I saw Storm Surge active, I was right to think Aoxy is kind of suffering below the damage threshold, trying to make his way in, and instantly
zone.
gets deleted. Just a tough situation to be in, but for Visuals,
Ritual gets a kill.
They get another couple of points for that elimination to keep themselves in stride.
And there you have it. Acorn and them are on height.
Positioning right now, just on the outskirts, leading with the rotate. The first to kind of actually follow the half in, half out, away from the congested spots. I think this is just what they're doing differently to everyone else that is giving them a night and day end game performance. And it's just like right in front of you. You would have thought that you could have studied that coming out of day one, but maybe you just couldn't because the lack of games. It's kind of crazy to think that they were taken out in 2 out of their 6 runs yesterday, and they still have more victory royales in the entire lobby and even fathom acquiring in a single tournament. This is just incredible stuff. But look at this highlight here as far as replays for Peterbot getting knocked out.
That's revenge. Zabi took down Peterbot. Peterbot took down Neko, rotating through Lone Wolf, and now Cooper is going to be stuck by himself. He's above the damage threshold, but being pressured by multiple teams, forced towards the outside. 5-tick zone, but he's starting his med kit, but the audio visual skills spots him out and forces him to cancel before eventually goes down to dash. The team keeping those points in-house, making sure nobody is able
Can we
to
go to
steal those
cold?
away. And that's a great pick-me-up. Maybe your confidence boost deepen. You're able to take down Cole. You're able to take down Ritual. Get eliminations. They have 6 so far. It might be the second half of the day, but I talked about the life-changing amount of money that is up the leaderboard, and higher you go, the more you get.
Yeah, by far the best game for them so far as performances go. Still see a little glimpse of Muzz's team still alive. Sineto's trio under Surge, but Features, Acorn, just again, they have this high ground, they have the positioning set up, they're the first to start playing for that little bit of height here, and they're going to be the last to rotate once again and just build right on top of the next group of players. This might lead them to another victory. I mean, you're watching it potentially just roll out right before you.
You guys kind of saw that stat for a second. This team right here is 1 win away from tying a record that was set by Pollo himself along with Peterbot. 5 wins in NAC through the FNCS finals.
Oh my god.
Pollo, I think, wouldn't say he necessarily plays with a chip on his shoulder, but in essence, maybe. All the shine going on over to Peterbot during their incredible and historic run through last year, and he has proven like, hey, I did that too. I was a big part of that team that found that success, and I can do it with you, or I
Cold's
can do it
dead.
without you.
Look at this though, Ritual by himself. This is his opportunity. It's his time now to see how far can he push his team ahead. I mean, we saw Cole do, we saw Peterbot do it countless times before in previous tournaments, and Ritual has had his day in the sun, but right now in here, they want to maintain their competitive edge for the back half of the tournament. It's about clutching up. Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid are doing just that too. These is big opportunities now to find some points. They absolutely need them. They want to be in contention for the Grand Championship here. Nicely done there. Great refresh, but no heavy mats being yielded out. I mean, at least Bolts is still cap, so not bad at all. The zone's going south. They got a long ways to
Acorn and them are gonna go away with it right now.
This is looking like a perfect scenario for a team like Kanata and them if they want to continue to rise up the leaderboard, close the gap that we were talking about in between games. But it's really all to Ritual. Pollo, Agers, Acorn looking like they're staying alive, but their high ground kind of stolen away, but it's only for now. 8 zone, very, very early.
Ritual gets a
Kinda
kill.
cemented as their own. Ritual somehow, some way found that elimination. Staying above the damage threshold. That's the most important thing here as a solo.
Let's go, King. Let's see what he got. Ritual's still holding on. That's definitely exciting. Booga, Craze, and Threats. How badly do they want it? They are still in this end game right now. This is surely a chip on Muzz's shoulder. Ritual looking back inside the storm. Might actually find another set of eliminations here.
Come on, Ritual.
They're gonna have to break through. He finds one. That's a huge knock there. And don't forget the other one's extremely weak. And players on the sides, though, he jumps into the storm. The greed kicking in right now, but he knows that he's got the misform. He's got nothing to worry about. The siphon to keep him up as well.
That's 4 more points. That's 4 more points, keeping this one close between them two. We saw Peterbot clutches. We saw cold clutches. And now we're seeing an opportunity here at a Ritual clutch
Ritual
as well.
dead.
Well, I'm not saying I cursed him, but he just went down in the feed to Batman Joe. Visuals, Braids, and a Minish. They do have the high ground. Visuals sacrificing the HP to make sure they have a cemented position in the sky through and through. But they look to the backside of zone. That's Acorn, Agers, and Pollo. A huge threat to any team in this lobby.
Well, I looked away, I looked back. How did Diminish, Visuals, and Braids get high ground? I mean, that'll be a story for a different day, but game 10 might finally yield out some fresh winners here. This is going up and over the mountain as well. Take a look at how far Ritual managed to push, though. He had a couple elims. He had his chance to, of course, do something big, but the edit was a miss. For that reason, he couldn't exit out fast enough. But hey, he did get placement points as he broke into top 15 there. Pollo, Agers, Acorn opting to go to low ground. This might be a signal to the rest of the lobby that they're here to get some elims here and now. We all know this is how you start to win your tournament games here. How far can you push those points? Not a Bolts Rapid still in the game right now. Being actually focused by Aegis Trio across the way.
Yeah, they're just full lobby focusing that team right in front. Just not really wanting them to take a step forward at all. Trying to cut off that path. Their time to rotate has definitely come. Pollo landing a couple shots right before using that misform to disengage on out.
From
Making
mid.
every team that was trying to beat them on the rotation pause and rethink that scenario. As they get to the front side, they go deep into the zone, build some boxes, throw the Medemus smoke down. It's a sacrifice they're willing to make because now they have priority over every one of these teams.
Right below them is Kanata's Trio once again just looking up, getting a couple little chip damage in there, but Booga's team is also giving them something to think about. But it's the mountain that's kind of playing its course here. Look at how they're starting to get suffocated out, losing a little bit of that
Agers getting
mobility, not
kills.
just
Pollo
flexibility,
getting
rotating
kills.
through. They're gonna have to go up vertically here. Agers, Acorn, Pollo find another elimination. Couple mats here to take on the road, but
Bolts holding
Bolts
him.
and Kanata are still in this game here. Bolts has just been the MVP of this trio, and he is proving why. He could just get a siphon. This will give him a lot of opportunity to make some big plays, but it's Agers, Acorn, and Pollo who are just comfortably running things down low, but it seems like they might be run out of material.
Yeah, great plays by Kanata, though, essentially clearing the path for Bolts.
Nice,
to move
Kanata.
inside of the zone. Misform finds
Pollo
it.
doing
Medallion
excellent.
changing hands as well. Visual Braids and Diminish haven't been tested. Nobody's able to look up because of all the struggles going on down below. Bolts with the medallion goes up and over, lands another crucial shot onto somebody, but he finally goes down. His run comes to an end, but Kanata still trying to keep this clutch intact for their team, keeping it respectable, trying to overtake Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual on that leaderboard.
You saw what he did there. Misform to the front side, now putting shots on behind, but the edit was open. He does damage Pollo, and Gretz finishes him up. So this is actually
Nice.
evening things out. That's going to unlock him a top 3, a potential second place now. Acorn and Agers healing in the zone.
Nice.
Visual Braids and Diminish might have jumped down a little prematurely. Agers comes back, but no, he gets traded out. And now it's just a matter of time as Acorn is waiting this one out inside the storm. Visuals has no idea where he's at.
Acorn
Shots are
1v3.
coming from the side. And look at that. They're already at 10 eliminations as a trio. And the win is theirs.
They started this game 412 points, and guess what? Back-to-back games with over 100 plus points.
An 8 up to 7.
40-point difference now. Damn. 100-point difference between first and third.
Now we're looking at like a bigger disparity, but then just kind of keep climbing up these standings. We've already know that like a single good game could suddenly change these entire standings. And with only 2
Oh my
games left to
gosh,
go,
I gotta go to the
every
bathroom.
trio in this lobby is thinking,
These standings are
I'm not
crazy.
qualified. I need to make plays, and I need to make them right now.
Especially when you're looking at those teams in 7th, 6th, fifth and third. Of course, I'm talking about our top 4 teams that are within contention of getting those global championship spots. Muzz unfortunately dropping down just a little bit, but if we have situations where Peterbot goes down earlier, some of our other big teams that kind of control the low and high ground in these end games, that does give one of these trios an opportunity to really climb up the leaderboard. And for the first time this weekend, Vivid, if I'm not mistaken, we actually had a little bit of a ritual solo clutch, although maybe not as many points as Cold or Peterbot has gotten. Ritual still able to hold out strong when he needs to provide points for his team.
Yeah, it's great to see him kind of put up that type of performance, right? Because if you take a look at the leaderboard, the difference between them and Acorn now, 39 points, right? That gap is kind of ever so slightly creeping up. And I gotta go ahead and put some importance on this game number 11 right here, right? Because if you imagine, what if that happens again, right? Peterbot, Cold, Ritual, they go down early. Acorn, Aegis, and Polio, they go into the late game again. They get another second place, and that disparity increases even more. And at that point, you only got 1 game left to go ahead and play catch up. That's not enough. So game number 11 is very, very important, not only for the championship of this major, but then also for those qualifying spots, right? When we come back to the leaderboard, paying attention to those, right? Yeah, Aviv, G-Money, and Rise, they're sitting in 5th place right now, 518 points. They're 60 points ahead of Booga, Threats, and Craze, right? Booga, Threats, and Craze, they've got to have a crazy game to go ahead and keep themselves in contention. Game number 11, Zeke, it means a lot.
Dude, it's so insane. But just think, and to like, you know, dig maybe a little deeper too. If any of these trios, like we're talking about just Peterbot falling, right? But if any of these trios between 3rd and 5th place fall, dude, we're gonna see going into that game 12, this be that much closer. The pressure is on right now.
This is just insane.
Trios, they just have to be under such.
I'm just out of my seat right
and
now.
But
I'm gonna sit down.
In this last game especially,
Let's fucking go,
once
Kanata.
again finding themselves these placements, right? They're not getting a ton of eliminations, but they're finding themselves these placements. Bolts is just nuts, dude. And then again, Kanata to be in this game, it's a solo clutch. To have to be in a situation where we're going, guys, we need to be getting points. Like, we are so close. They are right here. They're at the finish line. They just have to make it over.
Yeah, just like for Peterbot's trio, we finally got to see Ritual pull out a solo clutch. We got to see a little bit of the same from Kanata there. Usually it's Bolts that's able to pull out the solo clutch. But regardless, when you are a top player, when you are in the top of the top for these pros, you have to be able to pull out these solo clutch moments, regardless if that's playing safe on the low ground. Maybe you even go for a solo height take like what we've seen before. But just, I mean, we're talking about these crazy clutch games that these teams may need. Well, if you look at our teams going for those qualification spots in 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 7th place, each one of them has a victory royale. Within those victory royales, they're able to get double-digit eliminations or close enough. So we already know that
We're letting Brazil in the top 10.
is capable of a 100-point swing, and that might be just what they need, Vivid.
We can't let Brazil in the top 10.
To say, right? It kind of feels like we're going into game number 12, but I kind of hyped it up. It means so much for a lot of these trios right now. I don't even know what I want to see here, Zeke. Just crazy stuff. I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to Bolts, though, because statistically speaking, he does have the most solo points the first 10 games with 49 himself, quickly followed up by Peterbot with 48. So those solo clutches making a huge difference on the leaderboard. Let's see if all of these trios can kind of battle it out, stay all 3 up, and make it to the end game, and we can have some crazy game number 11.
Oh man, 2 games left to go before we wrap up grand finals in North America. It's fine, everything is fine.
Okay.
No one's
Peterbot
happy.
has to land
Let's get
on
ready for game
Pollo
number
right here.
11.
You can't leave it to game to the last game.
Go.
You just cannot leave it to the
Man,
last
I think I'm
game.
going as same as you, Monster. You might be on a cool another level, but you have been in these situations before. As
My heart
well. I
is
wanna see this
pounding.
conversation. If Pollo continues to play how he's playing, I think that NA GOAT debate shifts from Peterbot to him.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not even playing.
Our commentary
I gotta
2 days
chill.
ago, Acorn's team is the best right now, but remember, they also didn't change their strategy. They have been.
I'm calling it Acorn versus Peterbot.
Regardless of what the narrative was a couple weeks ago, or
They practiced it all season.
shakeup that we of course seen. It's incredible times now, and game number 11 sounds like it's ready.
They're already qualified for globals. They have nothing to lose.
We got what Vivid is looking to as one of the critical points here for the closeout of the tournament. I think he's spot on. Not only for, of course, setting up a potential catalyst for your global championship spot, but it's really a matter of the winner at Demon's Domain. If they walk away with things, they might just have a gap that's too big to close.
Yeah, right now it's only 39 points, and we've seen gaps like that close after one singular game, but that's when there's been a lot of games left. Game 1 over, the next one begins, 12 games throughout it all. I said it's a marathon and not a race, but at this stage in the tournament, it's turning into a little bit of a foot race overall between, I want to say, the top 3 teams in the tournament include Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts in that mix.
We're really not conning.
Could really change things up going into the final game of the day.
Yeah, they might be 100 points away, but again, with a game buffer, they could close that gap and then be in the conversation to close out pretty strongly. Now, this is going to come at the hands of basically a mistake, right, from Cold, Ritual, Peterbot, and Acorns Trios without anything kind of interfering with how consistent they've been. It's going to be tough to ask for anything more than that, but when you start looking at the points and the way the points are being allocated right now, I mean, this is one of the few times I think we've seen Ager's, Acorn, and Boyo's team, I feel like, keep up in a way that they're keeping up right now. Like, we're talking like leading, or if not, basically neck and neck with overall eliminations, which is very hard to do when you have a Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual type trio dynamic, right? Cold and Peterbot, clearly the usual leaders with the Elim game, so I just feel like they've met their match, right? This is the first time on the region as a whole we've seen 2 such dominant trios run away and go head-to-head like this.
I mean, you did ask me a question yesterday. You said, who is going to stop this team? Who is going to stop Peterbot at the incredible run he was having? I said it. I said, looking at the leaderboard, there's teams that are fighting for a global championship spot. There's teams that are out of the running in terms of the leaderboard. I said it, only man himself is Poyo.
This is insane. They didn't con. That's so...
Shout out to Agers. 38 eliminations by himself through these 10 games so far, and it's Poyo who's on top of the damage chart, so they have spots 1 and 2 in terms of eliminations and damage, firing on all cylinders. And we were just talking about Kanata's team, kind of just play it out. You don't have to do anything major, maybe average a top 8 placing. They're finding themselves in a similar spot if they can just have one more decent game here.
Yeah, we need to create a graphic that has like a stat card with all of their pros and cons, and just let me see that, because we need to put everyone side by side, man. Agers, I feel like, is just not getting the credit he's been deserving all season long, but this major in particular, he really is showing out, and as has Bolts, right? And that's what's really cool about this. We're seeing the best of the best also shine through when it kind of matters on this global stage here, but this is in setup, of course, for the global championship. I know we haven't seen the best showing from, you know, maybe Clix's trio or even Muzz in his trio in the last game, but they are still in this conversation right now. Oh, talk about Clix and Yamzo. Look at them go right here. A little fight.
Yeah, it almost seems like they're playing with a little bit of emotion intact. Things haven't necessarily been going their way this tournament. They've been kind of switching up their strategy, trying to get Surge from the distance, lurking up on the teams, and overall just being aggressive. And now we're turning back to the aggressive nature. We always talk about how do you close the lead with not enough games left. You have to go on an elimination frenzy. That's one of the only ways, especially 4 points.
Poyo getting his hands dirty.
Doing the same thing. They know this team lands down here. This time around, they're able to take advantage. Good damage, and they're keeping them close by, not letting them heal up, not letting them get any motion in this fight.
Definitely a good set of eliminations right here. Remember, they have to make up a lot of points, right? Like 30 points might not seem like much, but that is a good amount of eliminations in a grand final type setting. And
this
is how you start to pad up your standings here and really give you a run for the top. But also, think about where it positions them on the map, right? Remember, we've seen this before where they start playing these outskirts and try to find themselves
50-point difference,
kind of in
though.
the line of fire of Peterbot's team, or vice versa. So for Acorn, Agers, and Poyo to start getting around, I think it makes sense, right? You gotta play fast and move fast almost.
Yeah, even though we kind of look at a team just kind of like You don't want to turtle up too much. We talk about not wanting to make a mistake, but for a team like that, you know Peter Bach, Cold, and Ritual are going to get aggressive. You know they're going to go for eliminations to try to take the win back. So only time will tell to see how this game closes out. But for Rise, Aviv, and G-Money, we always talk about those global championship spots. Only 2 up for grabs in this major on Central. Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid, 589 points. They start this game over Aviv, G-Money, and Rise, 71 points. But for them, they're in the lead over Booga's team by about 60.
Look at a quick replay right here at Superman Laser Beam once again coming into full effect there. This fight starting to come to a close here shortly. Cyclops, Vlex, HQ pushing down Zonda. Now remember, Zonda's team was fall into the hands of Acorn and stuff kind of earlier in the day, but it seems like they kind of mixed things up, but not exactly the best strategy here as they've just gotten caught off by a different trio instead.
But 4 eliminations so far for a team like this. Good start. Depending on where you place down the leaderboard, each placing grants you just kind of unlocks more and more money. Kind of start to build that chemistry, but Blue is just hiding. They don't know exactly where he was able to disengage from, but he's peeking through that cone. They make one wrong move. He does have the Outlaw, so he will be able to down 1 in quick succession, but it's all about that second one.
Look at the feed.
Peter Bach kills visuals.
Big elims happening right now,
That's huge.
as well. All that momentum.
That helps Kanata. Pollo in the storm.
Getting active right now. Things are starting to collide here. This is
Acorn
a
got a
desperate
kill.
situation for a Mistform to start coming out. They're gonna have to hit the reset button here. You have Bryce's team here. This is just outside the contention of multiple trios now. I'm just looking at the map here. Everyone's kind of slowed down for a second right now. Acorn, Pollo, and Agers. What in the W key are we seeing right here? Are they trying to create such a buffer between them and the opponents? Maybe they're enabling a different strategy we haven't seen from Acorn, Pollo, and Agers so far. I feel like this is definitely a little bit more aggressive than usual.
I'm thinking right now. I'm calculating. I'm like a robot. Boop, beep, boop, taking in all the information.
Cold cam.
Seems like they're doing that. Trying to isolate eliminations is Cold. Peter Bot Ritual. We saw in the feed. They were able to pick this one up on the visuals. Luckily for him, his teammates are still alive.
What is he
overall.
doing
But
right
it
there?
almost looks like Acorn, Agers, and Pollo are looking for a dead side rotate. They saw the zone shift up towards the north, all the way towards the west. They know every team around their POI, all the way up towards the north, including the east side, is going to rotate on that edge.
All right, Cold and them. I feel like they're locked in this game.
Other teams to the punch, but it seems like Cold
It might be too late.
might have that same plan because they're heading right in that direction of the first place team.
No, I think they have a different plan. It's not dead side. It's let's find Acorn. There's only so many places they could be. One little false look to the right and they would have spotted him out. I wonder if Cole and Rich was going to go ahead and do that. Peter Bot's going straight for the high ground here. It's going to give them all the visibility on the team.
They're carrying the coin. Yep.
As well to work with. There it is. Seems like they might have actually spotted something out down there.
They know somebody's there, but it's kind of hard. It's a tough situation.
Oh, they're about to rift.
I feel like we've seen
No.
stages how they got Brutal Boxcars uncontested. They use that rift. They're trying to get out, and that's what I was talking about with the lab. It might be hard to get in. Not as hard to get an exit, but they see exactly the direction they are moving in. So they might not try to beeline their direction right to them, but they
That
are
would have been
hovering and
disgusting.
hounding them the entire way through.
I was going to say, you don't really have to, right? All you got to do is hold them out, get into the kind of their directional, rotational areas, and do what you need to do from there. But map knowledge coming through for Acorn, Agers, Pollo. They go straight to the other launch pad. They veer out even further, and look, they're just going pad to pad right now. I think.
Yeah, Pollo knows that was Peter Bot. Oh, fuck no. I can tell by the way Pollo's looking around. That is the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Just trying to figure out how to live to see another day right now.
Wait a minute.
He's like, that's my old teammate.
You see this, right? They dropped the medallion from Demon's Domain. They know it. You were exactly right, Monster. The hairs on the back of their neck was sticking up. They got the chill.
Ritual gets a
This
nod.
just does not feel right, and this could be a bait. I wonder if this could be a bait possible play. Either way, they are thinking outside of the box here. I'm hyped.
What is going on right now? He's going back for it. It's either a miss.
Nah, Ritual.
1,000
Nah.
IQ, big brain play to see if they can beat them into walking into some of their territory. But again, there's just so much happening there, and you could tell that Peterbot Cold was on to
Are
their
we
heels.
kidding?
This, they lost Ritual. What happened?
Oh, fuck no.
Oh, the tides might be turning here.
Oh, the 3-2-1. The team fire enough. Smiley and Salt just get the elimination. And
Oh,
I would say,
man.
luckily for them, Monster, there is a reboot van just up that mountain. I think Peterbot is already gaining access to that. The biggest thing that
Yeah.
they've lost right here is not only the time to rotate to the zone, but the storm surge, if any, that Rituals has. This might have put them in a peculiar situation when storm surge activates.
Oh, man, I don't even want to know what the comms are like right now for them to just have the opportunity and then watch it slip before their fingertips. This might just be, honestly, the play that sets them all the way back. Pollo, Acorn, and Agers likely just finding, renewed breath here as they see what's happening. And look at this, pushing right through Oliver OG's team. Not because they have to, but because they want to. They can just do that. They have the momentum, they have the lead, they have the points right now, they have the buffer room to work with, and the bigger they can build this lead, the more likely they are to get themselves another championship right now. Floyo's going to put himself,
Ooh.
into that 5x conversation, into that GOAT best of the best on NA conversation. It's just happening here and now, right before our eyes.
Did I just see Peterbot in the...
Pollo essentially saying, anything you can
Hold
do,
on.
I
Peterbot dead.
Conversation.
Oh
It's
my
just happening
gosh.
here and now, right before our eyes.
I'm just waiting for that montage
No.
afterwards of Pollo essentially saying, anything you can do, I can do better. You saw the stat, Pollo leading in damage with his team. They went and picked right back up their medallion as well, making sure to keep the entire loot of Demon's Domain intact, finding a couple more eliminations. And as you said, with Ritual going down, them finding more eliminations, they're putting it in a position to where, yeah, maybe Ritual Cold
That's crazy.
win with an elimination, but how many eliminations? It's almost putting them in a spot where they need a historic game in order to overtake that first place spot.
Keeping things interesting. Remember, this is only game 11 for the NA finals here for Major 3. Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts. We did a
Protein
whole
bar.
conversation. We almost forgot about Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts are in the running here as well. But look, they're much more passive, right? At this pace, how are you going to close that gap? 710 points now for Agers, Acorn, and Boya after all the effort they've kind of put in this round. It's just getting further and further away.
Yeah, you can see them just continue to trade shots from the mountain ranges. On the other side, though, have not been able to get Peterbot back on up just yet. Cold, even though it is relatively early, one tick zone, only has the one med kit. It does look like that team is following him. I'm wondering if he kind of drew them out away from the intention of Peterbot and Ritual, because you see them over towards Canyons Crossing, nowhere in sight. So far, you see him on the bottom of the mini-map trying to make their appearance, but he is getting pushed by an entire trio. Cold is going to have to do cold things here.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a tough spot to be in. But we've seen Cold already kind of playing in peak form. And you know what? I think he could do it again, but he's playing smart, taking his time here. It only takes one to be well out of place for him to go and initiate something huge there, and that's a bad edit. He's going to give away a spot. He's going to call for backup, but he gets coned up. Look how quickly he pieces him and finishes him off there. And look at that. Aaron's also lit up too, so... Oh, no. Did you forget a wall, son? That's a huge problem. And Cold is here to just do what he does. Already working around the outskirts. Just a matter of time. Misform, baiting, buying more room, Siphon to kick in, finishes off the teammates just because, and now here comes Ritual to back him up, and then they finish it off. My gosh.
Jesus.
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean for him to do cold things. I know seasons ago I said he has ice in his veins. They call him cold for a reason, and that reason continues to exist. And that's just amazing right now because Cold, we saw him clutch up in earlier games for that top 3 to keep things close, and he does it here again because we know Aegis
Cold wants to win this shit.
On an elimination frenzy from the south to the western part.
Cold said it ain't over.
These key points,
Oh, that is exactly key points.
This is just excellence at its finest. It's Rise, Aviv, G Money. They get the down onto Booga. And that's a big down for multiple reasons, not just the points, because that's the global championship qualifying race and the team that's on their heels.
Down one goes. Visuals just ticking away. Is there even going to be enough time for the next one to go through? I don't think so. Wait, he had to make it. Oh, so close yet so far. And, you know, with them falling out, it's not really like they lose much other than big-time prizing and overall, you know, effort, of course, as far as, like, getting this high-quality practice in for setting themselves up for globals. But still, no one wants to fall. When you're inside the 5th place, you're making a run for at least the top 3 there.
Less than 50 points now. Even though they've been slowed down just a little bit, I know they're going to be looking for key opportunities to continue to try to pick up the pace in terms of eliminations. Even Shadow is doing the same thing. Him, Muzz, and Sphinx are still in that hunt. They started this game with 435 points. I want to say around 80 or so points out of reach of that second global championship spot. And with Muzz down, that puts a lot of pressure on Shadow and Sphinx. Not in terms of damage and Storm Surge, but to get their full trio up. They are on the clock right now, 5th zone, 24 seconds until it officially closes. I will say the silver lining got to be in this situation is there are multiple reboats towards the backside of zone, both on their left and their north side of their original drop spot. So as long as they have some mobility, it shouldn't take too long to get the reboot if they have his card.
Yeah, they're not out of it just yet, but I mean, it just seems like things have been going downhill since that Victory Royale.
Oh, kill someone else.
Plays, which is, you know, pretty big end game, but you're missing out on the bulk of the points. So it's been pretty tough for Sphinx and Shadow to find their footing. Let's see if they can kind of turn things around right now. But one thing's for certain, they got to make it. I was gonna say make a move fast. Depending on how long they've been in the storm too, though, you got to think about it, Jacob. They might actually catch sickness because you know once around zone 7 turns in, if you haven't exited, I mean, that's it. You're cooked.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate too right here. I'm not sure if he was able to get the reboot card or not, but Shadow, Sphinx forced to go 2 separate directions. And it's Sphinx who's drawing the attention of Neko, Zabi, and Liam, just hoping and praying that he can get Muzz back on up, and then eventually if he goes down, they can move on over and get his card. But as we tune in, Cole, he did get another elimination on to Broken, bringing their team total to 6, and this is exactly how it happened, Monster.
Yeah, you like hanging out in a surge base? Let's just see what happens when these guys target you. And then they initiate the fight. Yeah, they're kind of coming up. Looking for a couple more points here. Why not? Take a stab at it. No Ewan for Peterbot just yet. Give it a second though. G Money, Aviv, Rise. Pressure starting to build here. The real question is, will they crack? Aviv ends up falling now. Rise super hurt. Medmiss has to come out here. This is, of course, going to be a tell to the rest of the lobby, but at least it gets a recovered. Look at that mini map. My gosh. That's a problem for everyone here at the Shafts.
All the teams that were thinking it was going to continue to pull towards the north are now having to try to make their way in, which makes that side of the zone pretty congested. You see it going down all the way towards the western edge, even a little bit towards the north as Rise, G-Money, they're able to get healthy there in that situation, but you can see a huge loss in their resources overall. They're a team that is inside of that global championship qualifying bubble, and with 2 games left, hoping to keep that intact with or without Aviv by their side. They know they got to get that job done. Acorn, Agers, even though they got to rotate, they knew that team was above, and Acorn's just peeking through the cone. Vital information for him and his team as they go ahead and extend their position before rotating to zone.
What an end game we're going to be set up for right now. Boyo, Acorn, Agers also leading the pack with these elims too, just really staying in the conversation right now, staying competitive with Peterbot Cold and Ritual, who are now positioned up just across from him. They have eyes on what's happening here. It's going to be all rotates coming soon.
They got to get going.
Yeah, they're almost like right on that Storm Surge line. We saw him just moments ago, 26, using this elevation before rotation to try to get as much Storm Surge as possible. But with that bird's eye view, they're watching all of these teams start to rotate in, inching further and further away, forcing them to start their rotation. And you see them instead of just be
40 below.
continue to hold that pressure off the top of the mountain, and that's going to give them a clearer picture of what they're working with on that side of the map. But on this side, you said it yourself, it's just so congested here.
Yeah, Peterbot's team was just slightly below right there, but what happens? G-Money takes a huge shot when they exit out, and then the finish of the team has to have been right on top of them. It's Gary and Saul here. Now, Rise does turn around, find elimination. Can he get the second one? These are big and important points. Okay, it's at least going to keep him in the game, but no misform, nothing here to really work with. This is not good. And Rise is going to have to play for another siphon. You might as well heal, do something. Don't sit there and lose time, and Rise might have just given away his global championship spot. We'll come back to check on the standings here later, but for now, Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual getting active. Still has 6 eliminations, but they picked up a little more damage now. Bobby starting to focus in on them. Outside rotate, Bryce and team, Acorn and crew.
Peterbot dead. Cold dead.
Yikes.
No way.
Yikes. That's all that really can be said out of a situation like that. They go down relatively early. A few placement points though in there for their efforts.
No,
So,
man.
with their global championship spot secured, and what could be a legacy in the making on the line for Peterbot, that last game, I have a feeling, Monster,
Yeah, sometimes you just
is
choke.
going to be amazing. It's going to be better than cinema. But the teams that are left alive, Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts, they probably saw them go down. And to enter into this game, it
I was eating a protein bar and I almost choked right there, so I understand. Sometimes you just choke.
Obviously, they increased the lead with a few more eliminations, but there are so many placement points up for grab and the opportunity to get eliminations to close that gap.
I'm just thinking about the full picture all season long. We were kind of
Well,
looking forward
Boyo
to
and them won
finals,
again. Nice.
Boyo versus Peterbot clash, and the irony of it has to end that way here for game number 12 if they want a chance to win this major. Now, knowing them, they might just give us the show we're looking for, but for Boyo, Acorn, and Agers, it's just business as usual for them. Because you know what? Deep down inside, Boyo has been the boogeyman. So why sign up for that too is what you have to think about. They're just playing so good right now.
Saying the feed, Yamzo went down, but not before taking down Craze. And Craze was the one that got the eliminations on the G-Money and Rise, trying to close that gap when it comes to qualification spots. But now it's Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow who are reaping the reward, because with no Aviv that has the spot, no Booga who's in front of them on that leaderboard, this is their chance to start to join that conversation in a serious manner going into our final game of the day. But if you look at high ground, Bolts, Kanata, and Rapid, they're looking to not just be a part of the conversation, they're looking to steal the show.
Aviv, G-Money, and Rise had a 60-point stretch over Booga starting his
Oh my.
off, and even further for Muzz's trio. So that's going to be huge for Bolts, Rapid, and Kanata. They need a lot more eliminations, so this is a great start for them to start earning some points and at least taking advantage, putting themselves in the conversation for maybe even a second place here.
Oh.
Maybe you know, they could stand to benefit potentially if Peterbot's team takes down Acorn. Who knows what the last game's going to yield, but one thing's for certain, whoever wins this game, if it's Kanata's trio, that's going to shake things up. If Acorn's team doesn't go the distance, Cooper, Reed, Curly.
People are getting placement
Low ground
points.
on the outskirts right now. Definitely a wild factor.
Bolts
here
and
in the
them
lobby.
are on height, dude. This is incredible.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Those are key eliminations right there. 4 more points and more because of the placement, knocking that team out of the lobby. They see so much chaos going down around. They're just trying to peek and find that perfect opportunity to get more. As Bolts, Kanata, and Rapid, because so much is going on in and outside of the different layers on the low ground. Nobody has really had a chance to feel comfortable enough to look up. The one team that would, Agers, Acorn, Poyo, they're on that ultimate low ground. They're building space, and they're trying to claim it as their own, but Bolts is still going on the hunt. You talked about eliminations being needed. Well, he heard you loud and clear.
Yeah, he definitely has to do something. But look at this. Agers, Acorn,
Acorn. Boyo still standing here, earning placement points ever so slowly. They did everything they needed to do for the elimination, so they have racked up enough. Bolt is still getting active, though. Huge shotgun shots. He has to force his way back to the top of that med miss.
Aegis and oh my gosh,
Finally now, pressure comes from the
this
low
is
ground
insane.
Here, forcing Aegis up and out, but Boyo's hot on the heels here. They're doing an excellent job rotating together. Bolt sees what's happening. They know you have to target second height. You can't get them or allow them to get comfortable. And here it is, the clash that we've been waiting for might just happen.
Yeah, and they know exactly where they're at because of the hot potato with that medallion. And there goes a flank
Oh.
right there. Bolty yoinks him in, almost gets that knock and elimination. Poyo, life flash right before his very eyes. The quick thinking, the medallion changing hands. Chug Jug is out. His team's going to build him a path, using the misform to try to get to the front side of zone. Buy him time to heal. But I think Bolts might know there's somebody that did not go with him, that is last to enter and might be the first to leave as they continue to target down below. They know if they have any chance at taking that first place spot, they need to figure out a way to take down the target.
Nice.
As Fleek steps in the way, Bolts is going to take him out regardless who he is and enters that misform to reclaim their high ground.
This is why I absolutely love the misform in the end game as well. It just picks up the pace of the game. So many opportunities to just prove how far ahead you can be as an individual competitor.
Aegis
Boyo
down.
is still going as well. I know we're focusing in on what Bolt is capable of, but Boyo is standing here strong alongside Acorn. Acorn's gonna fall, he's gonna pick up some material now. Someone has managed to actually reclaim high ground, so Bolt's Rap and Kanata are actually distracted here for a second. They have to force their way up top. It's Curve who's just giving, honestly, everyone else time to make a move. Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow are almost happy this is happening.
Poyo's just buying time. He knows Acorn's going in.
Poyo gets the top 3.
Disruptor, but he goes down with his last med kit in his inventory. He's forced to use the misform to go in. Sliver of HP remaining, instantly deleted by Kanata, Bolt, and Rapid. But will that have been too late? Now they end up in a 3v3 situation. Everything to fight for. Each team trading off downs each. Shadow's by himself, but he gets taken out. The Siphon is going to come into play for Bolt, buying him just a little bit extra time. Maybe even more as Muzz goes down as well. But Shadow has created such distance away. He goes back up, knows Kanata's playing the heal off. Smart play by Bolts here. He doesn't want to give away that Siphon for free.
Let's
And it
go.
works out perfectly.
Kanata wins games 11.
Through game 11 and take it by force.
That's crazy.
Talk about a big game to keep them in the running here and now. Over
Let's
Aegis,
go.
Boyo, a back and forth fight, and then Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx taking full advantage of the opportunity that was nearly gifted to them because of VG Money Rise Fall, Booga Threats and Craze Fall, Visual Brazen Diminish out of the competition as well. And all of a sudden now, those that matter are stepping up when it matters, Jacob. That was a great game. And talk about a way to kind of set us up, right, for the finale here to come.
Yeah, and these just plays like this, they get the high ground. They know everybody down below has been through the ringer, and they just calm, cool, collected, just get these eliminations and even dive down to pick up the loot like you're watching Bolts here. And that just reinforced their position up above. But we talked about it throughout the course of the game.
Let's go, Kanata.
But Kanata, Rapid, and Bolts, they need eliminations to close the gap.
All right,
if they
let's
want
see
to
the
take
score.
that first place spot. Well, guess what, Monster? They ended this game with double digits.
What?
They ended this game with 14.
And what better way to do it than the final game of Grand Finals? But is it too little too late? I don't know.
Just a couple of games ago, we were at 1 point difference between Acorn Trio and Peter Bott's Trio, and now it's completely flipped the script, right? Acorn
That
now
is
being chased down
insane.
by Kanata. Kanata went ahead and posted on
Peterbot is 100. Okay, Peterbot is 90 points away from first place. Kanata is 60 points away from first place. Poyo and them are in first place. Oh my fuck. Peterbot is not in first place. That's crazy. Going into last game.
commercials, he was like, it all comes down to the last game. What comes down to the last game, Kanata? The only thing you could possibly be playing for in the last game, because obviously you're already qualified to globals with this great 710 points that you've gone ahead and put up. The only thing you could be playing for right now in the last game is the win. Kanata wants to win as well. What is he gonna have to do?
Oh
Zeke?
my
I've got no idea.
gosh.
I don't know. I don't know.
We need Peterbot to land on him.
Understand. Whereat, do you understand why I'm losing my mind? Because there's so many things happening here in NA. We are here at the tail end of the competition. This is it. This is the finish line. We are watching all of this unfold before our very eyes. One final game. Fortnite fam.
Oh my god.
For any of these trios, right? Pollo's trio, Kanata, Peterbot, Aviv, Muzz, Booga, any of these trios could either play for the win or play to qualify for the global championships. This is it. The last ride.
This is crazy.
Masters, take it away.
Monster, I feel right now coming into this game 12 that these players are the gladiators in the arena, and I'm looking out in the distance watching everybody at home, and I got one question: are you guys not entertained? And that entertainment continues because the
Oh
final game
my
of the tournament
gosh.
starts now.
Game 12. This is
Game
insane.
12 has arrived, and we have ourselves that 3-horse race that we were waiting for. And talk about a better time to make it happen here.
If no one lands Demon Domain,
Kanata and
like,
Bolts
oh.
hoisting themselves straight into the competition. But you know what? Agers, Acorn, and Pollo, my gosh, talk about absolute masterclass performance so far here. Just perfect.
Oh my gosh, wait.
Day in, day out.
Wait,
We are gonna
they're,
get
oh my fuck.
we want to
Ritual
see
got smoked.
Ring that bell, ding, ding, ding. Let the
Oh my
match
gosh.
begin. All season long, watching on Aussie's stream, 30-something, 30-something, all for this fight here.
Score!
He's able to chase Acorn around, who has absolutely nothing. Agers gets one for himself,
my
but
gosh.
him, he's gonna fall. Peterbot and Ritual are the last two alive in a situation that they can revive Cole.
Let's
leaving
fucking go.
Acorn all by himself.
Let's fucking go.
That the tables change with a pickaxe and a swing. The support system comes through for Peterbot, Ritual, Cold, and Acorn. You can run, but buddy, I don't think you're going to be able to hide for much longer. They're making sure they have no odds at losing this one, and Acorn is just hiding out here down in the low ground. I think something's going to happen here that's going to give away his position here, but it looks like the real kings of the Demon's Domain will be Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual.
Oh my.
My gosh, and already you see that lead be diminished in this one game. Peterbot takes matters into his own hands, is able to drop the first, get the elimination onto Agers, who was the difference maker with the weapons, save Cold, and take down Acorn. This
Oh
is
my
exactly
god. Yo, Kanata can win
and
grands.
I hope everybody is happy because we got that treat.
I absolutely hate that I was grinning just ear to ear watching this all go down because Agers, Acorn, and Boyer were
That
so
is the
good.
craziest thing I've
At
ever
the
seen
same
in
time, it
Fortnite.
just makes
Oh
you
my
wonder,
fucking goodness.
what can you do to stop Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot? It's like when they want something done, you have never seen a team in Fortnite
That was
history
so
just
sick.
go out and take it, right? And they're doing it here. And like you said, the point gap now starts to shrink. For Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts to have a chance to race to the finish line. They really genuinely do. Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot, that might be the momentum and honestly the mood shift that they've been looking for, because the last couple games, Jacob, we have had a somewhat out of the ordinary performance from them, right? You know, 14, 15.
They just have to win the game. Okay, let's pause. Okay, look at the score for a second. 770 is first place. That means they, like, one win is 65. The kills you get are going to put you at 10 extra points. That puts you at 75 points, right? Guaranteed if you win a game. Oh, 75 doesn't get you to win. Okay, but 80 points. You got to get 3 kills. A 3-kill dub now. They already have 3, so they need a 6-kill dub. They only need 3 more kills and a win, basically. And they win FNCS.
Looking right now at the points.
Oh my
a
gosh.
30-point deficit.
You already know they're gonna get 3 kills in the end game though, so we don't even really have to worry about kills. They just have to win the game. They win the game, they win FNCS. If Kanata wins the game, he wins FNCS.
To second place right now. And with those eliminations, they already dropped it down.
gosh.
So I think 18 points behind.
This is
Kanata,
crazy.
Rapid, and Bolts. But you know, I know, everybody at home knows who's had their eyes peeled on Fortnite competitive. He's not fighting.
That was
for
fucking
second
sick,
place, so
by
he
the
has to
way.
do one of two
And they
things.
got the medallion.
An
Oh, that's
historic
fucking guru.
elimination game to not only take the spot over A-Court, Ages, and Poyo, but pass Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts if they don't go down. Or they're going to have to go on another hunt. They're going to have to figure out where Rapid, Kanata, and Bolts are at, take them down, and finish off this game with a win over the game.
Yeah, none of those are easy ask, right? You got to go across this entire map. You have to be deadly accurate now. And, you know, again, yesterday we talked a lot about this. There's contingency plans for teams like Acorn and company, all right? They've been planning this the entire year, but not necessarily a contingency plan for, well, what happens when Kanata's up?
This is
What happens when
crazy.
G Money Rise and Aviv are running things, right? Like, these are just, you know, unforeseen circumstances. And, you know, this last game really is going to be up for surprise. But we know for certain that Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid surely have downloaded what just happened. It's all starting to process here and now. And we're going to get to see if they can actually perform under pressure when it matters most. I know Bolts has been here before, Kanata and Rapid as well. However, it's been a while, right? It's been a while since you had this opportunity to unfold here.
Just want to take this moment to say congratulations, though, before this one ends for Kanata reaching his 28th consecutive FNCS finals. His point lead is so far ahead. You know, he has that one locked in, which kind of leaves only one more spot up for grabs. And you're looking at other teams when you light down that leaderboard. Aviv, G Money Rise, Muzz, Shadow, Sphinx, Booga, Threats, and Craze would be those top 3 teams to look at. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The lurk, the sneak, Magma's gonna be first, box to box, already Bolts is there, trying to chase down, that could be another elimination if they get this other wipe. This is 12 more points, they're going for the win here.
I like this. This is exactly what they need, because if you don't, you know what's gonna happen. Everyone that's right behind you are gonna start running their way on up. Kanata, Bolts, Rapid, playing as sharp as ever. Front side, Kanata kind of leading the charge here, really showing us just how mechanical he is. Don't forget what he's capable of. Yeah, he might have put that IGL hat on for quite some time, but there's a reason.
Like, Kanata wins this game.
Was off of his mechanical skills here.
Kanata killed me one time in FNCS.
Quickly so they could get a move on. Because this is deviating away from their usual strategy, sitting up in big bases, right? Going for exchanges. This is definitely a stake at earning points. Trying to play fast, and we all know when you start switching stuff up, Jacob, bad things can happen.
Ooh, just a tough angle right there, exactly that. There's too many risks going down right here in this fight. They do have the elevation advantage, so they're trying to smush that team further and further down. You see Kanata take another approach, going on their layer, and he's trying to just funnel them into one direction from the ground up this time around. Sees the footsteps, no scares towards the left, causers as well. Positions are not going to be hid, but they spot out Kanata. They land that first shot. Not going to be a game changer, but that one surely is. Kanata has just gone down. Bolts and Rapid need to figure out if they want to stay or go.
I'm seeing a little bit of the hesitation from Bolts. I didn't want to call it out too early, but he was only down 20 HP, and he's stopping the Chug Jug, almost leaving Kanata out by himself. I have questions about what I just watched go down. This fight should have started and ended so much sooner, but I think we are watching championship jitters on Rapid and Bolts. I'm not even kidding here.
That could quite well be a possibility because we have not seen this in 12 games so far. This is the first time they're just keying over from Crime City, knowing that, honestly, you can't just expect these players to have...
Yeah, they don't even want to grief Kanata now. Respect they left. Yo, that was so G that they left. They're not griefing. That was the realest shit I've ever seen. Yo, what were their names?
Versus one of the other great teams on the
Magma.
region. So they're trying to just keep as
Bear.
much control underneath their own
Yeah.
hands as possible. Unfortunately,
G
Kanata
shit.
goes down. Bolts immediately use that.
Killed
latch
the
pad to
team in
disengage,
second
but because
place.
He did
Yeah.
that. Rapid stayed, and that full team is leaving. And so Rapid will have a chance to get the reboot card. This is not the last we've seen of this full trio.
Crazy to think they get to count their lucky stars, you know, to just kind of stay in the running right now. Because if it was any other team, they might have just finished the fight. They might have actually had just enough awareness to recognize, wait, there's still one player left. We actually have this. But neither here nor there. These are the cards we've been dealt. We get to see it continue to go down. Damage, we know for sure they're going to be way behind on that. So this is only looking better and better for Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual.
Game 12.
I guess we can solidify.
First place is already
I
dead.
guess we can't say for certain.
Second place, Kanata.
But
Third place, Peterbot.
so far, so good. For Peterbot,
If Peterbot wins this game, he wins FNCS.
In this game, they got Demons
If
domain.
Kanata wins this game, he wins
They got this
FNCS.
fire. Island spawning.
If neither of them win,
Right there, but I know
Hoya wins in
not
FNCS.
just yet. Not everything.
This
quite
is
yet, but you know
insane.
what they want? They usually get. Taking control over this lobby right now, floating around Foxy Floodgates. There is different amount of rotation here that's naturally in the form of a launch pad. Just trying to wait and see where this next zone goes. I do believe it is going to continue to pull towards the north side of the map. Rise, Aviv, and G-Money. They are currently in second place when it comes to that global championship spot.
Oh my.
They're not trying to lose control of their own destiny. Great elimination onto Noxie. That brings them from about a 17-point lead to 21.
it's a big deal. Muzz's team is close, but the more G-Money's team starts to break away, the better. Oh, they only get the full team Elam. Look, they only get 4 off this, so I was under the impression they might have actually gotten a full finish, but this might be the same kind of song and dance we just watched play out with Bolts and Rapids team, where, you know, you get in those positions where the finish line is right there, and you're like, wait, maybe not. Maybe let's not take this fight. You do something a little different. You play a little more passive. We'll see if they end up regretting it later. Not going to finish that fight. Not only for the damage they'll probably need here in the last game, but the points. Those points are going to matter.
Yeah, well said. And you're kind of seeing it affecting their game plan right here. Just traveling towards the whole eastern side of the map. The slow rotation where they're hoping they're not having to run into too many teams. Hoping that the surge they were able to accumulate is going to be enough. But as Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual go and contest the Demon's Domain, that leaves Brutal Boxcars free as can be. Spire lands over there, and when teams in the feed see the eliminations, they know who goes down, what's going on, they try to make that a part of their game plan, and that's why Clix, Diabzo, and Higgs back to what they practiced when those teams were actually contesting
This is a
each other.
crazy match, and I'm watching them finish. Come on now.
Upgrade in their loot, and those superhero rank upgrades on top of
So
that.
is Peterbot.
Those ranks definitely make a difference. We've seen them
There we
change
go.
the dynamic time and time again, but here it is. So Bolts, Rapid, Kanata, again, a little bit of a rocky start, you know, but seems like they've recuperated themselves. They've kind of got themselves back in the game. I'm looking at the loadouts. Things seem to be pretty decent, pretty stable, but we know for certain all this time spent back here at the Crime City means they haven't spent time farming damage. And that's going to have
They're behind on Surge.
in the coming moments. It may not right now because it's the last game, so things are moving a little quickly, but it will end up coming around eventually.
Yeah, I feel like this tournament's been a game of inches for a lot of these top teams here, playing for the competition. They're also losing a lot of information and priority towards the front side of the zone because they're not seeing all these teams pick their spots because they're so far back behind the curve of what they hope to go up until this point. Booga Craze and Threats, another team on the heels of a global championship slots. And so far, they've made it a focus for them to rotate out of Utopia and go as quick to the north side as possible. So that way they can get their position and worry about Surge as a secondary as opposed to first like they normally do.
Yeah, I'm just continuously glancing at that standing, just trying to see who's where, how far do some teams have to go, how consistent have they been, is this a good day, is it a rough day for Booga, Craze, and Threats? They haven't really got to touch that end game, not in the way that we've kind of seen them do in day number 1, where they were breaking top 5 regularly, and they did have a victory royale. So far, though, Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow trying to do the same. They just came off that second place. They got that first place win. Have they managed to break that mid-game curse they've been battling with so far?
If any game is going to be the game to kind of break it, is going to be this one, where they get a favored zone towards the north side of the map this time around. And battling through so many different trials and tribulations throughout this tournament. They're putting themselves in the best position, but so is this team here. Rise, G-Minion, and V. Very, very similar road. Contested one time, non-contested, contested, uncontested. The mind games teams are playing on them. But for them to be able to hold tough throughout each and every one of these moments, putting themselves honestly in the right spot, inside of that bubble when it comes to the second and final spot for Globals, as Bolts, Kanata, Rapid once again find themselves in a tough spot at the edge of the zone. That's Golden, that's Mason, and that's Chimp as well, rotating right in front, and then a whole nother trio trying to beat him to the punch. And this is what we were talking about, Monster, when we're saying going down early. Even if you're able to get that healthy reboot, you lose a lot.
Yeah, it's Clix' team that's off in a distance there, trying to get the lead to the front side of the Brutal boxcars right now. And you can see them just about to set up and base up on the outskirts. Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid likely read this positioning well and say, yep, we're not going to go that way. They're going to have to break off into a different direction, give themselves a little room to work with. Here we get an update from Peterbot's team up top. They're not too far off. They could just end up clashing here with their immediate competition. And if we know anything, we know they probably have been doing their research.
Yeah, trying to figure out when and where Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid are going to make their appearance outside of the zone. They see the first team. I don't think it's them. But for them,
they don't know.
No matter who it is, that's a possible 4 points per elimination. That's a 12-point swing right there if they're able to take down the full trio. A whole nother team making their way in towards Brutal boxcars, but you see the marks on the minimap. Bolts, Kanata, and Rapid are not too far away from what is going on here. And if they hear the noise, you know as well as I do, they tend to get a little noisy, seeing what the third party is. How can they use that to their advantage?
You know, they're thinking about, okay, why is this team playing so passive, right? Could this be Kanata's trio? Obviously, you know, these guys are trying to decipher every little read possible to see if they can just get a hint of who's who and where's what. Even those skin details will play a factor in them determining what team's what. So for now, you might have seen enough to recognize that's not the trio they're looking for. Bolts, Kanata, Rapid now on the move here, though, back inside the building of the boxcar. Trying to get back situated here in this game. This is a desperate reform here as the map is pulling pretty further away. They will end up crossing paths with Clix's trio and Peterbot's trio here shortly.
Alright, fucking thinking about some work shit.
And there they might have spotted.
We got the first and second team. Wait, I mean second and third. No. Are we serious?
Close contact with each other. I'm thinking it's on. It's game time. They might not.
They just cut away from
but it's definitely
Peter versus Kanata.
Threats and Craze though lurking up on Demuz. May not know that's exactly them, but that is the team that they have to go through. One of two teams if they want to qualify for the global championship. And for Bugha and Threats, it's to remain perfect in terms of qualifying for these lands.
This is big. This is like their little.
Wow, cut back to Peterbot.
We're watching it all go down. Oh no, Muzz. Okay. Oof. Jumps off the cliff there. Could have got 3-2-1, but that doesn't mean Sphinx or Shadow safe. Oh, Sphinx finds himself a little bit out of position. Threats needs to stop moving or they're going to give away the spot. Crazy's going to end up opening here. There it is. They initiate, but they miss. Sphinx reacts super fast. Luckily, he had dashes on standby, and he backs off. The fight happening right here. Below the threshold for Kanata, Bolts, and Rapid. They haven't done enough. And that's all because of that kind of slow start they had, that initial knock onto them. They will be forced to take this fight right now.
Yeah, they changed things up so much. It's not exactly the change they were looking for. 100 damage below. One well-placed shot could change things up. But right in front of them, that's Golden. That's Mason and their trio on the other side. This is where it gets tricky because now the lobby is starting to gain notice. They're starting to focus their attention in this direction. 284 below. They're falling further and further. This is the recipe for Peterbot Cold and Ritual success, but it's not going to come without a fight. Kanata makes his way in. He gets the knock onto one, but he immediately goes down, and they're not even above the damage threshold.
Bolts.
Rapid is out. It's all up to Bolts by himself. It's Peterbot Cold and Ritual. They're the ones shooting it over, and they get eliminated. Now this is just a one-horse race.
Of course, it's Peterbot Cold and
No,
Ritual there
man.
to answer the call when it matters.
Oh.
And now all they have to do is ride their way to an end game and earn 80 more points. Now, that is not easy, though. Let's make this very clear. This is a big game they're going to need to put up still. If they want to be the champions, Agers, Aquin, and Pollo do have an opportunity to still hold the line here.
They just need, mathematically, the quickest math, they just need one elimination and a win. One more elimination
Okay.
and a win. Obviously,
Just
they
win.
could close it with even more eliminations there, but it's Peterbot, it's Cold and Ritual. What they have been doing so far, I feel like not very many players can say they can do that exact same thing. And the ones that say they can are probably out of this lobby already. G-Money, Rise, and Aviv, they're realizing what's going on around the lobby. Timing is of the essence. Eliminations are being taken away, and they're almost 500 damage above the threshold. What is this last game?
Yeah, they have a long way to go. They need to finish this whole entire team,
Oh
get the
my
wipe here.
God.
And he's only got 21 builds, so this is
We
much
need
more
Pete
than just a fight.
to just fight for Hydra now.
Pressure coming in.
That's what I think.
They have face checked the Yamso. Clicks and Higgs' trio here on the side. And now Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual do have a track record. They have a historical record. They love to win the last game on these major type tournaments. So I'll keep them in the running here for now. But Aviv, G-Money, and Rise do fall there on the picture-in-picture. And just like that, their spot's now up for grab for Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx to potentially overthrow. Or Booga threats and Craze to jump even higher.
My man Levin on EU is probably saying this right now. Cinema. This is cinema at its finest. Aviv and them 546 points. I don't know what they're currently at, but starting this game, Muzz was at 521. Starting this game, Booga was at 489.
Cold takes height.
This is truly coming down to the wire. A mere elimination, a placement point could play the difference in somebody's FNCS continuing and somebody having to sit at home and watch it all with us.
And this is crazy because it's an end game on the top of a mountain, right?
Cold takes height.
Actually, it's going to favor the teams that get there early. Peterbot's team just literally positioned up on top of one of those predetermined bases that was already up there. So they're actually setting themselves up for the victory condition. I think they're noticing all they need to do is get these points. Look, they marked out Taki's base. They could either go for the fight, try to secure the elims, or play it nice, slow, and steady. But give it a second. Yamso clicks Higgs. Just keeping us entertained here and now on the edge of the mountain here, fighting their way through Curly's trio. They're going to find Cooper there. Just a little bit of an offset as they push off Reet and team.
Much better position than they're in some of the previous games. 500 plus damage above the threshold for them. Just trying to close out strong. They realize what happened this FNCS, but they already have their global championship spot secured. So for them, it's about finishing strong and go next. They got the global championship in their lines of sight for now. But
This
still,
is
comeback
fucking
needed.
crazy.
Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, 3 eliminations, 500 damage above.
Let's
And you
go.
can see it right there in the minimap. I know there's a marker and a bunch of other players.
Game
They
12.
have full zone as well.
This is it. Here comes the breakout.
Zone full south.
They have the zone. The stars are lining up. And they say fortune favors the bold. They have been just that all day long, all weekend long, challenging their immediate competitors.
This is
Really trying to
crazy.
take fate into their own hands right now. The combination of a few things are starting to happen here. The zone's not going to be forgiving to anyone here. It's going to start pushing its way off the mountain down towards the lake. And that's going to mean you need a lot of material.
Ritual just doing the acorn
Can
ramps.
you go the distance? Do you have the stamina? This is a marathon, not a race here in these types of end games, but for Ritual, Cold, and Peterbot,
They still
they
need
have
70
options.
points.
It's not going to be easy, though.
Still 72 points down. Muzz is being spotted on the backside right now. His season is on the line. Is determined by
Run,
him
Muzz.
being able to make it out alive.
Get height, don't die.
Luckily for him, He slides into home plate. He's safe for now, but there's more innings to go in this game as 500 damage. That might not be enough for them as they spot out Visuals, Braids, and a minute toward the backside of the zone. They begin to make it their focus, and this is where teams have to watch out for. He does have the
He's got the pistol too.
The way Peterbot uses
Gotta
it,
be
shoots
shitting me.
one, reload, so he constantly has that shockwave effect out.
All right, we're in that position now. This is it. Teams fall. Points will be given to others that have managed to stay alive. Shadow, Muzz, and Sphinx. Global championship opportunity on the line right now. Visuals, Braids, and Diminish are one of their immediate competitors, but they've already made it, so this is just a matter of points for them right now. Diminish, Braids, Visuals, kind of on the edge of the zone here. It's gonna push back over the mountain. This is
Yeah, can we just watch Pete?
and Ritual right now.
This is
Gives them a lot
crazy.
of time to go in and work with it, but there's so much congestion beneath them. Look, there's no real opportunity available to them yet for eliminations. Finally now, everyone kind of has to come out of those burrow shells, and they have a chance here to earn some points.
704 placement points continuing to move in. Visuals gets one on a vert. Blue goes down. Sonetto as well. We talk about the prize money, and that's exactly what some of these players down below. Every elimination, every placing could be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 more dollars in their pockets. But they just have to continue to survive through that chaos that's down below. Meanwhile, they're up above, unchallenged. You talked about the different elevation change that's going on with this zone. Nobody's really going to get a chance to look up, but Muzz, Shadow, and Sphinx, they claim another elimination. Only their second of the game, but slow and steady wins the race.
This is it. This is very good for them right now. That's going to keep them competitive here. Ritual's going to play to the front side now. Peterbot's starting to work his way down. They're starting to gas out of material. They need a refresher yesterday. This is starting to slow down for them. Now notice Peterbot is reloading to force the shockwave damage shots off of these teams here to give them all that distance. Plenty of options here. Muzz starting to open up the edits too.
Peterbot still dropping down. Muzz just trying to put fire down from above. But they get sidelined. They get sidelined. Down goes Sphinx. Muzz forced outside of the zone. No miss for him, so he's going to go down as well. Shadow, I don't know how much pressure you faced in your life, but it does one or two things. Pressure either bursts pipes or makes diamonds. Now is your chance to shine bright like one.
Wait a second, Peterbot just hit himself back into the storm on accident. They're running low on material. This is the first time in a long time we've seen them not earn any points this late into an end game. They might not have enough. They need to win the game and get a single elim or get a lot of elims. And right now, we're not seeing elims add up. This verticality is working against them. King, PA, Jin, and Phaser take the high ground. Iamso is going up to give us a win for a finish as well.
Peterbot shockwaving them all off of high ground, said, nah, you can hold it for now. Keep my Seymour.
Nice.
The king.
Yeah, you need height on this mountain. Let's fucking go.
This team doesn't want to take part in just
Exactly.
FNCS monster. They want to take over.
They
this
need kills now.
FNCS. Prove a point. Claim his 6th FNCS championship, but right now they're well on their way up the mountain. It's claiming so many
Yeah.
players down below.
Everyone's played this zone before.
Order base where there might not necessarily be an exit. Shadow, he goes down. At least he made inside of the top 8, but where does he land on that leaderboard?
Listen, I'm seeing a lot of placement points and not a lot of elims up top. Cold, Ritual, Peterbot still haven't been gifted. And what do you think about this? A 3v3 clicks Iamso. Higgs looking to get revenge here. They got taken out before. Can they stand through the power that Cold, Ritual, and Peterbot are laying down here? But no, they run away. Potentially to be, again, not found for elims here. Not by this team, at least.
I'm not going to say it's scared by any means, but I feel like this is the smartest, the most calculated we've seen them play. But now is the time to crash out of the build. Visuals goes down, but Higgs, Clicks, they're the ones who got both of those. Finally, Ritual is able to get one, but the dust has settled. They got their 4 eliminations.
Nice.
Now they just need to win out. And when the only healthy teams left in this game, minus Cold, of course.
Oh my god, this is crazy.
Clicks Iamso going up for height, just kind of baiting here. But Cold is very, very weak. He's going to go and initiate things down below.
Oh my gosh.
Mid-game factor here. That's a siphon being
Peterbot's gotta win it.
Peterbot's hit. He doesn't see the side shot come through, and Iamso tags him once. Iamso's going to get the siphon too. The jump shot. He's invisible. Peterbot can't be seen, can't be tracked. Misses the siphon. Iamso's still in the game. But
Ritual wins it.
and wins the game.
Let's go.
And just
Peterbot
like
wins
Jacob,
it.
do again.
Let's go.
Oh my God!
What a
Peterbot
crazy
and
fucking
Ritual
tournament.
in what they could agree as
Mind
the
blown.
hardest fought FNCSs of their career.
Let's
I
go.
can't believe what we have just witnessed. They realized where
They
were
played
at
the
in
game
terms of
perfectly.
the board. They realized who was in their path, and one by one,
Oh
they
my
took down
God.
first place. They took down second place. I know I called a point estimate, but now I'm even able to second guess it, Monster, because did they do it? Did they complete history? Even now, I'm starting to doubt myself.
I mean, when you end the tournament with a win like that and the elims start to add up, it has to feel like it was enough. But only time will tell. Game 12, one thing's for certain, Ritual, Cold, Peterbot has solidified themselves once again as one of the most legendary trios NA has ever seen, Jacob.
I just couldn't believe it. I know we talked about that threshold for them to win, but what was the point difference? So many times, Monster, we've seen teams talk about taking it in their hands. They just did it, but that's gonna do it. For
I think they
myself,
did it. I
one of
don't
the
know.
greatest commentators ever, Monster D phase 4 Major 3. Next stop is the Global Championship, but Zeke, we need to know who's going there.
Fortnite fam, did you just watch the game that I just watched?
That was
What the
crazy.
heck just happened? Kelly?
Zeke,
Vivid?
from start to finish, that was the best game we could have absolutely got. So many questions that just kept on adding up as the game went on. I thought that we would have our answer once we saw that Peterbot landed on Poi over Demon's Domain, but when it comes down to it in the final moments, there's just a few points separating them.
Guys,
Yeah.
3 points.
Let us know.
Difference of 3 points. Here we are. Once again, a difference of 3 points. Your major
That's
3
insane.
champions, Peterbot, Ritual,
Let's
Cold.
go.
3 points separating them from
Disgusting.
second place. What an insane tournament.
Let's go.
To think, Vivid, to think all year long we've been watching these guys go head to head,
Crazy.
and then they decide, you know what, in Grants, it's not gonna happen. For 11 games, we're not gonna land on you. Game 12, Vivid, game 12, they land on them and go on to win.
How is this the storyline? Absolutely crazy. Throughout the day, we had a moment where they were 1 point away, and then it seemingly felt like the gap was too big. They couldn't catch back up. Acorn was sitting pretty upon the throne, but the throne, the real one that needed to be claimed to go ahead and take the championship
Insane.
home, was the one over at the POI that they both tried to stake a claim at throughout the entirety of the major. And Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual do the unthinkable. They make the call, Kelly. They go ahead and contest them off spawn. And not only that, not only does it come down to game 12,
What a crazy
it comes down to
performance.
the final elimination. We did some math
He
beforehand.
did.
We knew that they needed 7 to go ahead and secure it. They had 6 right
Oh
there.
my
In the
God.
final moments, they pick up the last one. 3 points, Kelly. They win by 3.
So many people were trying to stop their run there. There was so many opportunities for them to go down, but they refused to fall short, having the players from Brazil try to steal height away from them, and it looked like they were gonna do it. But Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual said, no, this is our game, this is our region, and we're going to show you why. Once again, the back-to-back Major 2 and Major 3 champions,
Yeah.
Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual, prove to the world that they are the best team. And now they're going to go to Globals in a month's time and prove it all over again.
I cannot believe the games we got today. I am just blown away. Congratulations to Peterbot, Cold, and Ritual. Wow. We can't forget though. Obviously, there's still 2 spots going to the global championship. who has qualified, who secured one of those spots. Well, I can go ahead and confirm Kanata, Rapid Bolts,
Yep.
they made one of the 2 spots, but who made the other? If you look on 4th place, Visual, Braids, and Diminish, they're already qualified. We go down 1 more placement. Oh, wow. Muzz, Shadow, Sphinx are going to the Global Championships. We won! We did it, Muzz! Let's go!
Let's go.
To being grieved, to going through last chance qualifier, to being contested, and now finally going to global championships. Muzz, Sphinx, and Shadow, one of the newly formed trios out of this major, prove why you cannot put them out. This was their tournament to show everyone that they deserve to go to globals, and that is exactly where they're going.
Instantly hitting the socials. Muzz is going ahead and showing.
I like
his
Sphinx and
emotion,
Muzz, and
showing
I don't really know who
what
Shadow
it
is,
feels
but
like to go ahead and clutch that one up, right? We're watching the win happen. Peter Pot's taking it home over there in the final game of the day as well. Shadow clutching it up as
no, Boog is
with
not going
Muzz
to,
and Sphinx
man.
down, making sure that they are sitting comfy in 5th place. Wow, I can't believe it. You gotta feel a little bit bad for Aviv, G Money, and Rise, right? They were holding on to that spot throughout, it seemed like, the entire day, but unfortunately in the final moments, they went ahead and fell short. And of course, the other trio that's gonna be ecstatic about their qualification as well is, of course, Kanata, Rappin, and Bolts. We know exactly what that decal sounds like right now, don't we, Zeke?
Dude, they have got to be just going absolutely crazy. I just cannot believe. And just like, again, think about how this all kind of started with that crazy 14 elimination victory royale, right? We went in and we're trying to win, but guys, they've been playing so consistently all weekend long, putting up the numbers to end on 710. To be you know, over 100 points ahead of 4th place. I'm just blown away. Kelly, this is one of the greatest weekends of Fortnite. We're not even in globals yet. We're not even there yet.
But you know who will be there is Kanata, which means that he is now the player to make every single grand finals in the FNCS ever. And although I want to give him
That
all
was
his flowers, I do have to give praise